to scale the summit of Mount Everest, now 80 years of age. He looks great.
Looks like he'd go right back up again.
Yes. And a beautiful day as you see Matt Hasselbeck sitting this one out with the broken rib. Temperature 61 degrees. And a beautiful afternoon here in Seattle. We are downtown and one of the great arenas of football. Take a look at those missing starters, and they're big names indeed. Lofa Tatupu, Walter Jones, Marcus Trufant, Leroy Hill, and the rest. 16 combined Pro Bowls missing today from the Seattle lineup. And in his first year as head coach, Jim Mora took over for Mike Holmgren. Seahawks plagued by injury last year. And Olindo Mare kicking off. Bears will receive, and Johnny Knox will run it out from deep in the end zone. And the impressive rookie wide receiver with a great return. And Olindo Mare makes the play, and the penalty flags are down.
Personal foul, face mask, 15-yard penalty, number 10 of the kicking team. First down.
So it was the kicker, Orlando Mare, on a face mask penalty.
Look how Johnny Knox reads the cutback, because once he sees the cutback, that allows the blocks to be set up on the backside. He gambled bringing it out from deep, and the gamble paid off big for Chicago.
Bears will start from the 40 of Seattle. Matt Forte with a 1-yard gain. So Jay Cutler, who made a big turnaround from his opening game against the Packers when he threw 4 interceptions, and a terrific performance in beating the Steelers last week. Second down and 8. And they go to Forte again. And the Seahawks are there. The tackle is made at the 35-yard line. Will bring up third down and 5 for Chicago as Aaron Curry makes the stop. And as we look at the Bears offense, Charles, the big question this week, of course, is when will Matt Forte finally be unleashed?
And they hope that it'll be today, but it hasn't all been his fault. They were behind most of the way against Green Bay, and Pittsburgh's defense is not easy to run against.
And Lovie Smith, who's calling the defensive plays, hoping his offense can get a first down on 3rd and 5. Johnny Knox, the rookie receiver, is in the game, and Cutler is going deep into the end zone and off the hands of Devin Hester, incomplete. And that will bring up 4th down and a field goal try coming up for the Bears.
Despite the fact this was not completed, I like what Chicago did early. They ran Matt Forte twice. They want to get him untracked, as we noted. But they also need to stretch the defense out in order to give him a better chance of getting untracked, and that deep ball should help.
And now Forsett gets off the field, and there's no one back, so now it's 11 really blocking against 9 as Robbie Gould attempts a 53-yard field goal, and Gould's kick is going to be hooked, no good, off to the left. So after the great return by Knox and the penalty, the Bears are stymied by the Seahawks, and Robbie Gould, who won last week's game against the Steelers with a field goal to win it, misses here.
And Robbie Gould was on quite a streak in terms of field goals. He had made his last 14 straight. He is the most accurate kicker in Bears history. And finally, a miss on his opening kick today.
And a good field position for the Seahawks' first possession. First and 10 on their own 43-yard line. And it's play action. Seneca Wallace, and he's going deep and over the head of T.J. Houshmandzadeh. And that'll bring up second down. So already we have had both quarterbacks taking shots. Wallace making his 13th career start. And the starting lineup for the Seahawks. So they were hoping to get back their all-pro left tackle Walter Jones today, but that's not going to happen.
No, he's out, but Seneca Wallace has quite a rapport with John Carlson, the tight end, and they hope to exploit that today.
Second down and 10. Another play fake, and Wallace fires complete, and that'll be a first down to the 45 to Nate Burleson. And a gain of 12, so Wallace, after the long incompletion, connects here.
The Bears brought heat, but the number one attribute of Seneca Wallace, his legs and his mobility, and he uses it to his advantage to move to a good spot and complete the pass for a first down.
On the 45-yard line, and the first running play, this is Julius Jones, and Jones brings it to the 40, gain of 5 with Nick Roach, who's in for Pisa Tinoe Samoa, who remains injured for the Bears. And while we're catching our breath, we'll take a look at the Bears defense, and they're coming off the strong effort against the Steelers, and a boost at Alex Brown's ankle is okay for him to play today.
And also, they have Hunter Hillenmeyer replacing Brian Urlacher in the middle. The team trusts him. He gets him into the right spots. And Charles Tillman is the veteran in the secondary.
Second and 5, 2 tight ends. John Owens joins John Carlson. And Wallace with a play fake, rolling out, and he flips it to Owen Schmidt, the fullback, and he has a first down right around the 30-yard line with Charles Tillman on the coverage. Pickup of 10.
This is a nice, easy, confidence-building completion for Seneca Wallace, where he's able to just flip it out to the fullback, Owen Schmidt. But that's also a play that if he decides to tuck it and tell Schmidt to block, he's got an angle to the sideline where Seneca Wallace could run it too.
Now Schmidt is starting for Justin Griffith, who is out with a sprained knee. And so the Seahawks are driving. They have a first down on the Bears 30. Wallace finds Burleson. And Burleson is ridden out of bounds by Lance Briggs. And they're at the 25-yard line, a 5-yard pickup.
Have you noticed the play calling early, Dick? They're doing a lot of things trying to slow down the pass rush of Chicago. The Bears put a lot of heat on Pittsburgh last week. So we've already seen a wide receiver screen. We've seen running plays. We've seen a deep shot. And that allows the protection to get better.
And the ball gets loose on the pitch. And Wallace alertly goes out of bounds. Back at the 37-yard line. And you were talking about their offense, and they're getting rid of it in a hurry. That's what Wallace is doing, and this was too rapid, you would say.
Yeah, but he's just on the toss sweep. The tailback has to look for the ball, too. And what it wasn't a wide sweep. It was one of those sweeps that goes inside the tackle, so it's really a lighter, shorter toss. And it appeared Seneca Wallace tossed it like it was the long sweep to the corner.
Well, the Seahawks had a second down and 5. It is now 3rd and 19 after the loss of 14 yards. Deion Branch returning to action is in the game, and here's pressure and the screen to Julius Jones. And Julius Jones down the sideline and will get in for the touchdown. Hillenmeyer and Tillman both missed Jones. And on the screen, a 39-yard play, and the Seahawks strike first. Very calm on the sideline is Seneca Wallace as Olindo Mare is on to kick the extra point. And the Seahawks lead the Bears 7-0. Julius Jones with his third touchdown. He had a 62-yard run against the Rams. Seattle takes the lead. 39-yard touchdown to Julius Jones, 4 for 5 on that drive. Second career receiving touchdown for Jones, both this year. And Mare kicking off, and Knox back deep, another deep kickoff. And once again, Knox returning it from 7 yards in the end zone, this time bringing it out to the 21-yard line where Lance Laurie brings him down. So a timeout. The Bears will get the ball for the second time. Jay Cutler goes to work when we come back.
Number 55. They're going to signal, and that tells number 44 to the left of your screen, Kevin Payne, to blitz. They're saying pass. Pass is coming. That means automatic blitz. Payne blitzes, but Seattle has the perfect play call, a screen. Julius Jones runs through 2 missed tackles and gets into the end zone.
Cutler with the short drop and way over the head of Devin Hester. And it'll be second down.
See, Chicago had this diagnosed, and they got good blocking, but right here the play could have been ended. Charles Tillman, number 33, and Hillenmeyer coming from inside out, number 92. They don't wrap up on the tackle, and Julius Jones runs right through it into the end zone.
Tillman, who had the interception last week against Pittsburgh, bringing up second down and 10. Greg Olsen is split to the left, to the bottom of your picture. And Cutler's pass is caught by Olsen, and he'll have a first down to the 35-yard line. Very accurate is Jay Cutler, and a 14-yard pickup, first down.
This is an example of a tight end really being a third wide receiver. Watch Olsen, number 82, running the route, coming back to the football so that the defensive back can't go through his body to the ball. See how he comes back and cuts the angle down? Nicely done by Greg Olsen.
Olsen getting off to a slow start so far this year, as is Matt Forte. Bears looking to change both of those scenarios. And the handoff to Forte, and nothing doing, picking up 2 yards on first down. And it was David Hawthorne who's making his first NFL start at middle linebacker. Lofa Tutupu out with a hamstring injury. And by the way, for the Seahawks, Brandon Mebane, who suffered a strained calf, inactive last week, is in at defensive tackle. But there's the young David Hawthorne. Second down and 8. Penalty flag is down. Bears moving back as if it is a false start call. Don Carey.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Chris Williams, right tackle. False starts, you see a lot of them when you play here. 83 at home in the last 4 years, including this year, leading the league. In fact, one year the Giants had about 11 false start penalties. The 12th man, yes, a factor. Second down and 13, and here is Forte trying to go outside, gets good blocking, and finally going out of bounds. Slowed down at first by Will Herring, and a gain of 10 yards.
I like the play call here. Why? It's second and 13. Everyone expects you to pass the football, but sometimes you have to slow down the rush, silence the crowd a little bit, and give the ball to your best running back and give him a chance to gain some yardage. Now, it is third and manageable. A nice pickup by Matt Forte.
And you see the difference. Big first year last season. Third down and 3. Cutler's pass, and it's caught. Threading the needle to Earl Bennett, who he had played with 1 year when they were both at Vanderbilt, and into Seattle territory for the second time today to the 39, a 20-yard pickup.
Earl Bennett had a lost rookie season. They tried to train him at about 3 different spots as a receiver. This year they left him at 1. He moves inside to the slot on third down plays, and what a great catch off of the back shoulder by Earl Bennett.
First down on the Seahawk 39. And the pitch And on the reverse to Devin Hester. And Devin Hester blockers in front of him. And Hester, with a great block there by Olin Kreutz, the center, finally brought down by Ken Lucas, the cornerback. But a flag down back at the 45.
Crackback. Number 6, offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That'll be on the quarterback.
I think the guys in the league are going to spend more time with their quarterbacks and teaching them the rule. Watch Jay Cutler. He gets involved here. Watch him right here, number 6, get involved with Aaron Curry. Unfortunately, he's going low, but he started, it appeared, above the waist before he slid down. See, Brett Favre had the same call against him in the preseason. And so the quarterbacks have to understand about going low when you can and when you shouldn't.
Questionable call, and
looked like he started high.
Lovie Smith, yes, he did. And Lovie Smith just saw the replay on the big screen here in the stadium. So it'll be first down and 25, and now the Bears, who are at the 39 of Seattle, now back on their own 46. The left guard, Frank Omiel, flinched before the snap.
Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
A lot of new pieces in the offensive line, Dick. Frank Omiel, number 68, came over from Carolina as a free agent. Orlando Pace, number 76, is a veteran, but new on the offensive line this year in Chicago. And at right tackle, Chris Williams, a first-year starter. This crowd noise could affect this offensive line that's trying to come together.
Now it's first and 30. Cutler trying to get some of it back, and he goes to Forte out of the backfield to the 48 of the Seahawks, picking up 11 yards. The rookie linebacker Aaron Curry making the play on Forte.
And the Seahawks linebackers, we were just talking about the offensive line for Chicago trying to come together. How about the Seahawks linebacker? Aaron Curry, his 3rd start as a rookie. David Hawthorne, his 1st start in the middle, number 57. And Will Herring, number 54, his 2nd start in the NFL today.
Travis Fisher is the nickel back, number 28 for the Seahawks, against 3 wideouts, and the pressure on Cutler, who fires away, and he has Earl Bennett, who is open on the far sideline and gets inside the 20-yard line. So Cutler, and we talked about his footwork, throwing kind of off balance and completes a 31-yard pass.
Coming into the game, the idea of this game is that Seneca Wallace's mobility was a big part of the story. But what about Jay Cutler's footwork and mobility? Buying time in order for a receiver to come open. As they coach their receivers with the Chicago Bears, stay alive on every play. You never know when Jay Cutler's going to find you.
Now, Bennett shaken up as he went down and being helped off the field. So Bennett is a starter, and Johnny Knox, obviously the rookie from Abilene Christian, pushing him with 152 yards. Pretty good for a rookie after 2 games.
8 catches, plenty of confidence. What did they tell us when we asked about him? Oh, we knew he was going to be special the first day of rookie training camp. He plays as fast as he runs the 40-yard dash.
First down on the 17, Adrian Peterson. Cutler flips it and is intercepted off the hands of Knox and David Hawthorne in his first NFL start with his first NFL interception. And pretty good pressure from Darryl Tapp. Number 55. A deflection and the first interception of the year for the Seahawks. Fans are in full force here in the Pacific Northwest, as the Seahawks, with 5:27 remaining in the first, have a first down on the 15. Here's Julius Jones with a burst. Gets beyond the 30-yard line, picking up 16 yards, and the fullback Owen Schmidt with a neat block.
And this is how we got here. Watch Pace right here, number 76, trying to block against Darryl Tapp, number 55. He bull rushes him back and then gets enough of Jay Cutler to send that pass high that should have been completed to Johnny Knox. David Hawthorne, the recipient of the tip drill.
And the 5th interception of the year thrown by Jay Cutler. First down at the 31, and the pitch is to Nate Burleson. And Burleson doesn't get much as the Bears pursue well, led by Al Afalava, the rookie strong safety, in a gain of 2 yards. And if you've been watching this game, don't adjust your television because, yes, that is lime green. Those are the alternate uniforms that the Seattle Seahawks are wearing today, and they are stark, to say the least, wouldn't you say?
Oh, without question. We will all be going in and seeing our ophthalmologist when this is over.
2nd and 8. Here comes the blitz on Wallace. And the pass incomplete. Unable to hold on is Houshmandzadeh, covered by Tillman. As the Bears were sending several defensive backs.
Oh, if you're playing against Chicago Bears, you know pressure is going to come. And Seneca Wallace does a nice job of getting rid of the football before the rush can get there. TJ Houshmandzadeh has it in his hands, but a nice play by Charles Tillman, playing through the body and the arms of the receiver to knock it away.
Houshmandzadeh not in the lineup on 3rd down and 8. Seneca Wallace being chased and fires the pass. It's caught, and a first down inside the 40 to Ben Obomanu. You mentioned at the outset, Charles, this team adding Deion Branch and really have a horde of receivers that Wallace can use today.
How about the protection? John Carlson chips Alex Brown on the way out. Brandon Fry, number 77, does a nice job. But watch Obomanu, number 87, works his way back when he notices his quarterback scrambling outside of the pocket and presents himself as a target.
And on the comeback pattern, an 11-yard gain. First down at the 44. Julius Jones off to a terrific start in this game. Tackled by Danielle Manning after a gain of 4.
The offensive line for Seattle is also a reconstituted line. Walter Jones, their all-world offensive tackle, not back in the lineup yet. So Brandon Fry, who they picked up a week before the season began, he's now starting at left tackle. They get back Chris Spencer, number 65, at center. And they're trying to come together as a line too.
2nd down and 6. And here's Jones. And the Bears are there. And the quick put down there by Marcus Harrison. Nick Roach also in on the play, and a gain of 2. And they are working on TJ Houshmandzadeh's hand on the sideline. We mentioned that he came off the field. Walter Jones, the perennial All-Pro left tackle, and he should be ready to go. 180 starts. Look at that resume. 9 Pro Bowl selections, 6 times All-Pro. So Houshmandzadeh is out of there. 3rd down and 4. And a tight formation, and the pass is caught by Nate Burleson. He'll have the first down. And inside the 35-yard line, Al Afalava, after a gain of 16. And Charles, the play selection by the Seahawks has been terrific.
And I like the play calls because they're giving easier throws to Seneca Wallace early. He's already accurate. They came out in a bunch formation. They took 2 receivers and ran them downfield and essentially picked off defensive backs. And when they did that, that allowed Burleson to come free on the shortest route, catch the ball in the flat, turn upfield, and pick up the first down.
And meanwhile, Houshmandzadeh back on the field for Seattle. 1st down and 10. Good protection for Wallace. And holding on to that pass is Cameron Mora, the rookie tight end out of the University of California. Zachary Bowman was right there on the play. And the ball now at the 31-yard line of the Bears. So we have about a minute and 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And after the big flurry, the big kickoff return of 53 yards by Johnny Knox, the missed field goal, and the Seahawks have dominated from there. 9th play of the drive. Julius Jones. nearly broke away, and he's brought down by Danielle Manning after a pickup of 2.
Julius Jones is announcing to everyone today that you had better swarm him and tackle him, because the first guy is not bringing him down. Already 30 yards on the ground. The receiving yardage came on the screen pass on 3rd and 19 that he took into the end zone. He's running awfully hard in the early going.
Justin Forsett is into the game for relief of Julius Jones, who has done a lot. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Here's Seneca Wallace going up top and incomplete to Burleson. And that will bring up 4th down, and Olindo Mare will come on to try to give the Seahawks a 10-0 lead.
That's a big miss, Dick. If this were a game of basketball, coaches would say we just missed a layup, because Nate Burleson has them beat. A little more air under the football, a little touch. He's going into the end zone with the football. He's got Charles Tillman on his back.
46-yard attempt by Olindo Mare. It's good. And with 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Bush Manzada heading into the locker room, and the Seahawks lead the Bears in a surprise 10-0. We've got to play with more energy and passion, and he's got to like what he's seen so far. 11 plays, 57 yards for Mare's field goal. As Charles pointed out, they were in great position to get another touchdown, but they lead the Bears 10-0. And Olindo Mare kicking off for the 3rd time. Johnny Knox, 9 yards in the end zone, and this time will down it. He thought about running it out from deep in the end zone, didn't he?
If he could have made the turn, he would have brought it out.
We'll come back. Jay Cutler now has a 10-point hill to climb.
Dad!
Sorry, Sport. We're cutting back.
Okay.
School's like 2 miles away.
We're cutting back on gas. We're also saving with Verizon Wireless friends and family. Calling to any 10 out of
Team injured, including the quarterback being out. But look at the first 2 possessions. Missed field goal after a great starting field position, and then an interception. And Seattle getting 10 points off of miscues. So it'll be 1st down at the 20 for Jay Cutler. Matt Forte, and he's ridden down immediately by Colin Cole after a gain of 2.
Chicago got away from running the football against Pittsburgh because of Pittsburgh's reputation and stout run defense. I don't think they're going to get away from it real early against Seattle until Seattle proves that they can shut down Chicago's run game over the course of time.
Now, Earl Bennett was shaken up, you remember, so the 3 receivers are Hester, Knox, and Rasheed Davis. There's Devin Hester. Final play, perhaps, of the first quarter, and Matt Forte trying to go outside. And a good play made there by Ken Lucas and David Hawthorne. As time runs out, that's the end of the first quarter, with the Seahawks leading the Bears 10-0. To your desktop every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, don't miss the after party with Jay Glazer, which will be hosted tomorrow by Jared Allen, who is filling in for Jay, who is off for Yom Kippur. Expect the unexpected tomorrow only at foxsports.com on MSN. 3rd down and 2, start of the second quarter, and the ball is loose. And Jay Cutler right there in the middle of it. So it'll be 4th down. And an inspired Seahawk effort thus far, Charles.
And I didn't think this was necessarily a throwdown here, and I think they were going to run the football, but there was a quarterback-center exchange between Olin Kreutz, the center, number 57, and Jay Cutler. Ball ends up on the ground. Bears have to punt it away again.
Brandon Mebane right in the middle of it. Justin Forsett will receive the kick from Brad Maynard. And Maynard shanks that one off to the right. And a flag is down. Penalty marker there. Obamanu really put some pressure on Brad Maynard. And a flag is down as that kick went out of bounds to the right.
He was trying to angle it. Maybe it got touched, but I think he was trying to angle it off to his right. and might have just gone off the side of his foot. Obamanu was on the scene, but I'm not sure he actually touched the football.
Flag was thrown at the 34. You've got to credit that defense. Patrick Kearney, who is really the key man.
And he's playing the role of King Leonidas today, leading his band of 300 into battle.
And taking a longer look, there are 2 flags down as the referee Don Carey goes over to explain to Lovie Smith. And Jim Moore gets an explanation.
But you notice they dispatch officials to both coaches so that one doesn't feel left out in the conversation.
But Lovie gets the referee.
Well, that's big. You like it when it's going in your favor to have the referee.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding on the receiving team. That penalty is declined. Number 50. Ineligible receiver downfield offense. Number 53. That penalty is declined. They are offset. 4th down.
Now Jim Moore doesn't see it, and he wants the officials to come over again on that.
Excuse me. There are 2 fouls on the play. The receiver downfield on the offense. That penalty is declined. Holding. Number 50 on the receiving team. That penalty is enforced. 10 yards. 1st down.
So the holding penalty by Lance Laurie will. Now Lovie Smith is saying.
Said, hold on a second. I thought we had offsetting to begin with. Now I'm penalized.
They may take this to the Supreme Court.
It was interesting because normally when you say offsetting penalties, you announce the penalties, just say they're offsetting. But
right.
when he said declined, that meant he was already headed towards someone declining one and gaining a penalty.
So they don't replay the down.
No.
And the ruling is that the Seahawks will have a 1st down. And after the shanked punt, Seattle will have good field position if it stays.
Nothing's more important than being there. By Pfizer. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
We have yet to complete a minute of the 2nd quarter. 10-0, Jim Mora's team, undermanned as they are, leading Lovie Smith's Bears 10-0, and it'll be a 1st down for Seattle on the Chicago 47. Here's Matt Hasselbeck nursing the cracked rib.
I think right here with this field position, it's an ideal time to give Seneca Wallace a chance to take a shot downfield.
It'll be a running play to Edgerrin James. 11-year veteran doesn't get anything, and for a game break, here's Kurt Menefee.
And the legend grows. Minnesota down 4, closing seconds against San Francisco. Brett Favre buys time, then in the back of the end zone, hooks up with Greg Lewis, who gets his feet in for the 32-yard game-winning touchdown, 27-24. Dick and Charles?
And that's why they got him. Seneca Wallace, and unable to hold on, and wide open on the right side was Owen Schmidt. 3rd down and 10.
Watch Seneca Wallace, looks downfield, goes to the check down. His fullback in the flat. Hands, you just failed me.
TJ Houshmandzadeh, we saw him go into the locker room near the end of the 1st quarter. They were working on his hand, and he is lined up to the bottom of your picture, number 84. 3rd down and 10. Wallace getting pressure. He's got good feet, as you pointed out, and the pass is caught by Burleson, and a first down for the Seahawks at the 27. A 20-yard pass play, and Wallace used, Charles, both his feet and his arm on that one.
Love the mobility, and most of the time when people hear mobility, they expect to see guys take off and fly around the corners and run around a long time. Most of it is just subtle slide steps, create a better passing lane, buy a little bit of extra time, extend the play, and Nate Burleson knows that about his quarterback and continues to move to an open spot.
Off to a great start with those numbers, and he started 8 games for the injured Hasselbeck last year. First down at the 27. And there is Seneca Wallace going deep, and it is nearly intercepted. And it's an incomplete pass. Zachary Bowman very nearly picked it off in the end zone. Could not hold on the pass intended for Burleson. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Get everything going your way. You can't afford to turn the ball over here because it changes everything. And a good job by Nate Burleson, number 81, taking the interception away from Zach Bowman, number 35. Seneca Wallace throws that one too far because of the heat in his face from Hunter Hillenmeyer.
2nd down and 10. Edgerrin James, a receiver out of the backfield, but they go to Burleson again. Very busy first half for Nate Burleson. They get to the 20-yard line. Bowman on the tackle. A pickup of 7 with 3rd down coming up.
You go back to the play that's nearly an interception, a West Coast offense staple. One of the things that all the West Coast offense gurus say. On each play, when we throw the ball, it's either touchdowns or checkdowns. Seneca Wallace went for the touchdown when he really needed a check down because of the coverage against Nate Burleson.
And Burleson off to a good start. Carlson goes in motion, and the flip to Justin Forsett. And the Bears come over. The Bears doing a terrific job not letting Forsett, who has good speed, get over there. Hillenmeyer slow getting up, and it was Hillenmeyer who made the play happen, bringing up 4th down.
Everyone worries about the loss of range with Brian Urlacher being out of the game. Hunter Hillenmeyer is a much better athlete than he gets credit for, and he ranged from inside out to keep that from being a first down.
Murray successful from 46 yards in the first quarter. This will be a 37-yard attempt. And Olindo Murray's kick is good. Now 3 for 3 on the season. And Seneca Wallace and the Seattle Seahawks have opened up a 13-0 lead over the Bears.
Swing it out to Matt Forte. He caught 63 passes last year. He's a huge part of your offense. Today's the day to get him untracked.
Now Hester comes out to the right on 2nd down and 5. Handoff, Forte, and a good play there by Red Bryant, number 79. Now, Charles, Red Bryant is wearing number 79. I look up at the Ring of Honor here at the stadium, and I see Jacob Green, number 79.
He of 116 sacks, Jacob Green. Yes. Well, the reason he can wear 79 is he is Jacob Green's son-in-law. So when you're Jacob Green's son-in-law, you're allowed to wear 79 even when it's in the Ring of Honor.
A hand-me-down.
Yes, sir. And I'm sure he asked on bended knee. Please, sir.
3rd and 5. Out of the shotgun. And the question is, does Hester hold on? And the officials say he did. And it may be enough for the first down. We'll see where they spot it. They needed to get to the 38-yard line. Kelly Jennings starting today for the injured Josh Wilson.
How about this catch by Devin Hester? When you talk to people, all you keep hearing is he's young as a receiver, still growing. Total hands catch, despite the pressure from the defender to come down with the football.
And there'll be a measurement on the near sideline, right in front of Jim Mora.
See, a lot of inexperienced receivers want to catch it with their pads. That allow the ball to bounce off.
It is a first down for the Bears. So Hester keeps the drive alive. We're still early in the second quarter, but Jim Mora's Seahawks have come out and played inspired football against the Bears. As we said at the outset, big chance today whenever you're playing against a backup quarterback.
And that play by Hester allows the Chicago Bears to get 4 more downs and try and establish a flow and a rhythm. That's a play of picks that helps pick up an offense. That one made by Devin Hester.
All other teams in the division have won today. The Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions. Yes, the Lions all won. First down from the 38, and a play-action play, and it's out to Forte. And Forte is slowed down, and he finally gets away, and ultimately David Hawthorne makes the tackle, and 4 hard yards for Matt Forte.
Here's one of the battles of the day. Look at Patrick Kearney, number 97, in the beautiful lime green jersey against the perennial All-Pro himself, Orlando Pace. Kearney putting the pressure on Cutler before he delivers a screen pass to Forte.
I think you're making a fashion statement in favor of those lime green jerseys, partner.
I gotta admit, I dig them.
Second down and 5. Handoff to Forte and nothing doing. Seahawks have been outstanding against the run. And it was Lawrence Jackson who was in on the play along with Will Herring, a gain of only 1. Bears have gained only 24 yards on the ground thus far, and we're halfway through the second quarter.
Lawrence Jackson, number 95, really has stepped up his game since the regular season began. First-round pick last year.
Came into the game with 3 sacks, leading the NFC. Third and 4, and Cutler gets hit as he tries to get it to Olsen, and on the coverage was Deion Grant, the strong safety, and 4th down coming up. As the Seahawks came up the middle on Jay Cutler, and Brad Maynard in to kick it away.
The Seahawks decided to bring pressure on this play, tried to overload the offensive line, and Aaron Curry almost gets there. Jay Cutler unloads the ball, but great coverage by Deion Grant to knock it away.
Brad Maynard with the shank first time around, 11-yard kick. This one more respectable. Justin Forsett is hit and knocked down from behind at the 20-yard line by Rasheed Davis. So Seneca Wallace, the backup, who's done it before and has his team in front 13-0, will come out and try to get more. Go to Indy to go against the Colts and Peyton Manning and the Giants and Chiefs. In the second game, the Cowboys go to Denver to face the Broncos. Some of you will see the Rams and 49ers in the 4 Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. I'll tell you what, the confidence level has to be sky high for these Seattle Seahawks, who have the ball for the 4th time in the game. First down at the 25. The handoff to Julius Jones. And a pickup of about a yard with Alex Brown making the tackle. And we showed you the problems the Bears had when they had the ball. But the Seahawks have clicked with a touchdown and 2 field goals in their first 3 possessions.
And here's a small quibble from me. I think they left some points out there. Seneca Wallace missed a big shot to Nate Burleson that could have given them 6. And then last time on 3rd and 3, Hunter Hillenmeyer made a nice play. They kept him from a first down. They had to kick another field goal.
Greg Knapp calling the plays, and here is Seneca Wallace. It's tipped, and the pass is incomplete. And now for a game break, let's join Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Some excitement in Buffalo. Lined up for the field goal. The Bills fake it. Brian Moorman, the punter, hits Ryan Denny, and he scores from 25 yards out to tie the game with the Saints at 7. That's where it stands late in the second quarter. Dick and Charles.
It's Anthony Adams, number 95, the big defensive tackle, goes airborne and knocks the pass away.
So it's 3rd down and 9. And John Carlson, who hasn't caught a pass yet, the tight end goes in motion, and on the pressure, Seneca Wallace goes down, and it was Lance Briggs who led the way for the Bears. The first sack of the game.
Plenty of Bear fans did show up here in Seattle expressing their pleasure on this play. And look at number 55, Briggs on the blitz, really untouched because there were so many other guys that needed to be blocked. And this is how you get your team cranked up.
And a loss of 9 yards, so John Ryan will punt for the first time. And Devin Hester is back. Ryan with the best punt average so far, 3rd in the league. And here is Hester letting it drop at the 42, and wherever it does roll to a stop, the Bears will have good field position. Well, last weekend the Manning brothers did the job, didn't they?
They certainly did, and how about that? Led both of their teams with game-winning late fourth-quarter drives. Eli trailed by 1 with 3:40 left. Peyton trailing by 3 with 3:50 left. And Eli led a game-winning field goal as time expired. The Giants won by 2 over Dallas. And Peyton a game-winning touchdown to Pierre the Waiter Garçon with 3:18 remaining. And Indianapolis beats Miami 27-23.
So the Mannings will be on Fox next week. Did you give him that nickname just now?
Well, after that touchdown, I think he's been upgraded to Mater D.
And a penalty. See if Chris Williams, the right tackle for the Bears, guilty of the false start.
False start. Offense, number 74. First down.
I believe that's the 3rd false start for the Bears in this first half.
Teams average about 2.5 false starts per game in this stadium.
You know, with the great Bear fans, you mentioned they're out here. They're everywhere.
They're
baseball
legion.
And football all over the place. They're not going to be able to stop the noise of this crowd, though. 1st and 15. Back on the 29. And the quick pass to Bennett. Bennett gets free. And Earl Bennett, with a big gain for the Bears, gets into Seattle territory to the 47-yard line and a gain of 23.
Coming into the game, we said that Seattle would have to be relentless in attacking on defense. Well, the Bears used that against them. Look at Chris Williams, number 74. Watch him take out Kelly Jennings, number 21, on the screen. Olin Kreutz, number 57, got downfield too. Earl Bennett picks up a key first down.
On the 48. Forte. And Forte is tackled by David Hawthorne, who has 6 tackles and an interception already for the Seattle Seahawks. First NFL start for David Hawthorne out of TCU. 2nd and 5.
Starting in the middle for Lofa Tatupu, their all-pro middle linebacker.
Cutler getting time, and free downfield is Greg Olsen. And Olsen is tackled by Babineau, but not before he gets to the 24-yard line. And 19 more yards as Cutler starts to open it up for the Bears on this drive.
Well, how about this pass protection that Jay Cutler receives? Aaron Curry gets there fast, but Jason McKee, number 37, the fullback, comes across formation and picks up Curry, which allows the time for Cutler to find Olsen downfield.
You know, Charles, the Bears haven't scored yet as you look at Johnny Knox, and they still have yet to score this year in the first quarter, but they threaten. Matt Forte. Great move to the outside, and Will Herring will wrestle him down, but not before about an 8-yard pickup.
This is one of the moves that's become increasingly popular with running backs. Watch it, it's called a jump cut. He jumps into the hole, and then with his vision, he sees this way. And then he jumps out of the hole and out to the outside and gets a big, big gain. The one thing I would say, get the ball to the outside arm. Make the defender go through you to get the football.
This is a good passing down, Charles. 2nd down and 2 from the 16. They'll run it to Forte, and Forte close to the first down. Forte has gained 39 yards on 11 carries thus far. And they're going to be shy. So it'll be 3rd down, less than a yard.
I think this is a down that you allow your offensive line to establish some confidence and you to show some trust in them by running the football at Seattle.
And a timeout called by the Bears. So with 4:08 to go, this is a big down for Chicago, trailing 13-0. An unexpected series of events in this game. You know, it's interesting. You look at the schedule and you say you got the Seattle Seahawks on the road. You know, that's always a tough game, but the timing of when you play a team is such a big factor. And it just happened that this was a week in which a lot of their stars are out, like Tutupu, the middle linebacker, and Matt Hasselbeck, the quarterback. But it's been a great effort. And Ron Turner trying to get the answer and a first down here.
I mean, with it being so short, you really think to yourself, offensive line, here's your opportunity. Blow someone off the ball and get us a first down. This short, I think sneak with Cutler. Take the ball, get forward, get a first down, start over again.
And he's big enough to get the yards on a quarterback sneak.
He's a strong man.
It's play action, and the pass is caught by Olsen, who gets the first down to the 10-yard line. Very reliable receiver and a close friend of the quarterback Jay Cutler, trying to get Olsen going today, as he was with Matt Forte.
Yeah, they've rebuilt quite a relationship off of the field. Spent a lot of time this offseason going around to country music shows and getting to know each other better, not just on the field, but off the field too.
Seahawk defensive ranks in the NFC thus far. They have yet to give up a red zone touchdown, and here is Matt Forte slowed up, and a big play made by Will Herring. Now, Herring is starting because Leroy Hill, who underwent surgery on his groin, probably not back until November or so. And I'll tell you, these reserves, especially the linebackers, have played a big first half.
They came into the game. All right, here's Herring, number 54. Watch the play he makes. The three linebackers came into the game. Starting today, combined 6 starts when you count today. Gaining a lot of experience rapidly.
Second and goal from the 11. Cutler's pass caught by Forte, trying to fight his way to the goal line, and the ball stripped loose. Seahawks have it.
The play is to Matt Forte, number 22 in the slot. He runs a whip route and comes back inside. But the ball is stripped. Looked like he was trying to extend the ball out, and Jordan Babineau, number 27, helped knock it free after the initial tackle by Will Herring. And then actually on the top, David Hawthorne knocked it free and gets the ball.
And here comes the challenge flag from Lovie Smith, because if he was down, that would not be a fumble. And this is about a critical challenge as you could make. And Lovie Smith will want another look.
It's the right challenge to make because of where they are on the field. And as you said, how critical it is. Is he down before the ball is stripped out at the end by David Hawthorne? I think the Bears
is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble.
Well, we're going to take a break right now. And they're going to take a look as Lovie Smith on the challenge. Was Forte down before the ball came loose?
Count is down, but is that down before the ball is knocked out by David Hawthorne, number 57? And remember, we need indisputable evidence to overturn a call that's made on the field. Is his shin down? Is he down before the ball's knocked out? You can't see the ball there because David Hawthorne is blocking it off and making a play on it.
So you don't know that the ball didn't come out before his shin was down. There's going to be a big judgment here, obviously. Either the Seahawks take over or the Bears retain possession on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, initially I thought Babineau had knocked it free, but it turned out to be Hawthorne, 57, coming over at the end of the play. Herring with the initial hit, Babineau helping out.
And Hawthorne, who struggled a little bit against the 49ers in the team's loss last week. Coming up with a huge game. He has the interception. He has 8 tackles, and we'll see whether he has the forced fumble as well.
And the recovered fumble.
Right. Don Carey is out here.
After review, the runner was down by contact. Result of the play, it will be Chicago's ball. 3rd and 1, 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. Chicago is not charged with a timeout.
So Lovie Smith wins the challenge, and a huge one.
And it was the right thing to do, not just because he won the challenge. Look at where they are on the field. Here's an opportunity to score. It's a tough, close play. You have to challenge it. It might go in your favor, and it does, and Chicago now has it, 1st and goal. Excuse me, I take that back, 3rd and goal. Forte.
3 tight ends. It's Forte. And he's knocked back, and he did not get over the goal line. And tempers flare momentarily. And it appears that it'll be 4th down as Forte is stopped. It looked like Herring and Hawthorne were both there.
Look at where the line of scrimmage gets reestablished. Back in Chicago's backfield. No push by the offensive line of the Bears.
Well, the Bears are going to have some time to decide exactly what they want to do. 2 minutes remain in the half.
Prohibited.
The Bears are going for it on 4th and goal from the 1.
And I think it's a good decision, but I don't run it inside. I put it in the hands of Jay Cutler. My first option, Greg Olsen.
Cutler to throw. Touchdown to Olsen. Your man was free and wide open in the end zone. And the Bears finally score with 1:56 remaining in the first half on the 1-yard touchdown pass from Cutler.
Look at the pressure right in Jay Cutler's face, where he had to essentially shot put it. Deion Grant, number 24. Aaron Curry showed pressure, dropped back, but Grant right in his face. And Cutler with so much arm, he doesn't need legs. Just drops it in there for Greg Olsen for the touchdown.
Corey Redding couldn't get back there to make a play, so Robbie Gould on for the extra point. He's only missed 1 in his career, and the kick is good. And the Seahawk lead now is 13-7.
So you want to be a quarterback in this league? It's all glamour, huh? He wanted a little bit extra for he felt like he got pile drove into the ground, but it looked to me like it's a good tackle by Deion Grant, planting him. But Jay Cutler gets what will ease the pain, and that's 6 points.
And so the challenge by Lovie Smith on what could have been a fumble by Matt Forte at the 1-yard line, winning the challenge. And so the question is, did Forte cough it up, or was he down by contact? That was the ruling on the field. Of course, no timeout taken away by the Bears, and the touchdown pass from Cutler to Olsen. And it was Cutler's 4th touchdown pass of the year. He's 1-1 today on TDs and picks. And there was the 10-play, 66-yard drive, and Cutler perfect on the sequence.
The decision by Lovie Smith to challenge the play reminds me of something a friend of mine told me a long time ago. Hey,
there you see Forsett and Obamanu back there deep for the Seahawks. Justin Forsett. And kicking off will be Robbie Gould. Obamanu returning from the 2. Gets running room. Ben Obamanu. Terrific return out past the 40-yard line. They'll mark it close to the 45 before Zachary Bowman knocks him out of bounds. And a big return to set up the offense.
We've seen some good returns today. First from Johnny Knox, but look at the gap here that Obamanu is going to see. But he takes it and cuts actually behind another block and finds another gap and picks up a nice block by the veteran, number 36, Lawyer Malloy.
And a first down at the 45. Seneca Wallace has completed 9 of 15 for 123 yards and now 9 of 16 as he can't get it to Houshmandzadeh. It'll be second down and 10. Pressure from Lance Briggs. And Zachary Bowman, second-year cornerback, shaken up, and Bowman, who took the starting job away from Nathan Vasher, is hurt.
Sometimes it's the hits from your own teammates. Look at Lance Briggs trying to break up the pass. Runs into his teammate Bowman and the coverage of Houshmandzadeh, and Bowman bears the brunt of it.
So they're working on Zachary Bowman, and he's been an outstanding performer in what has been a young secondary. Charles Tillman, in his 7th year, is the senior man there, and Lovie Smith not afraid to go with young players at safety and corner.
No, he wants young, enthusiastic players, and he'll live with a few mistakes early as they continue to grow and get better. They finally have Danielle Manning, number 38, playing free safety, one spot. He's played corner, he's played nickel. They finally have him in one spot. And Al Afalava, a 6th-round pick this year, has assumed the strong safety position and gets better with every snap. Zachary Bowman won the job in the offseason, got hurt, missed most of the first game, came back and started the second game, and now they're worried about another injury with Zachary Bowman.
And Danielle Manning, who Lovie Smith told us was the best athlete on the team.
And so now Nathan Vasher comes in, and he was the one who got hurt with the touchdown pass for Green Bay, which was the game winner.
Second down and 10. Seneca Wallace pass underneath to John Carlson, and a first down. First reception of the game for the tight end John Carlson to the 44 of the Bears. Remember, the Seahawks still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
So right now they're doing the old John Wooden, be quick, but don't hurry. And they're moving a little quicker, but it's not an all-out hurry-up offense yet.
First down. Here comes pressure from behind from the secondary. And this pass is caught at the 37 by Deion Branch, returning to action after being inactive the first 2 weeks.
And how about Seneca Wallace feeling the pressure from his right? The pressure will come from here. Wallace will move this way to ease the pressure and allow himself to make the pass. And look at Branch going down and securing the catch.
Inactive the first 2 weeks with a hamstring pull. Branch makes his first catch. Second down and 3. Little over a minute remaining in the first half. And finally, timeout is called after considerable histrionics on both sides of the line.
Play clock was down at 2 when he called timeout.
Coming up at halftime, we'll have our Visa halftime report. All the scores and highlights, and the talented bunch of Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy in our studio, plus the Fox Sports ticker.
You know, I was going back when we were talking right before the kickoff, you know, with Lovie Smith going ahead and making that challenge. A friend of mine told me sometimes you make those challenges because you give them a chance to say yes. You give them a chance to be affirmative instead of worrying about the negative all the time. And Lovie Smith was able to get that done, and it paid off in a touchdown after they won the challenge.
Seahawks had a 10-0 lead after the first quarter. Wallace hitting Julius Jones on a screen going 39 yards. Murray with a field goal. It was 13-0 before Cutler hit Olsen.
Houshmandzadeh in the slot.
Second down and 3, and Julius Jones carries, gets the first down. Stutter steps his way, still on his feet as he gets tackled finally at the 23-yard line. So the Seahawks are in field goal range, and a 14-yard pickup and a first down, under a minute remaining, and still 2 timeouts remaining for Seattle.
And not utilizing the timeout, just going right to the line of scrimmage.
Here's Wallace, and he'll flip it, and it'll be dropped by Carlson. That's the second time that Carlson has dropped a pass.
He had one with Owen Schmidt also, where Seneca Wallace uses his mobility to keep a play going, extending the life of the play. Look at him hop through the hole, but keeping his eyes downfield, and he throws it to his receiver, and unfortunately Carlson unable to haul it in. He does not drop many.
Second down and 10 from the 23. 40 seconds and 2 timeouts.
Houshmandzadeh does most of his work from the slot.
And the screen pass to Jones, and Donajay puts him down at the 27-yard line. So there'll be a loss of 1 on the play, and Seattle will use their second timeout. Hey, Seneca Wallace has been active, and the thing is that Mike Holmgren last year turned him from an athlete into a quarterback.
Now, that's a great way of putting it, Dick. I mean, that's exactly right, because Seneca Wallace came out of college as a quarterback, but he played it much more like an athlete. I got to watch him when he was at Iowa State, and the way he moved around and bought time with his legs, but he used it more to get downfield with his legs. Now he's using his legs in the pocket or breaking contain, but keeping his eyes downfield and becoming much more of a throwing threat and creating big plays that way.
And as you know, we've seen him on the receiving end of passes before. So if you ever want to use a wildcat and actually throw to your quarterback, he'd be a good guy.
He's the guy. He caught a 24-yard pass in the season opener against the Rams from Matt Hasselbeck.
Bowman is back in at cornerback for Chicago. 3rd down and 13. Julius Jones tripped up at the 25. And the clock continues to run. Seattle has not used their last timeout as Murray comes in to try a field goal. He'll let the clock wind down, and it stops with the 3rd and final timeout with 8 seconds left. So Murray at 2 for 2. And there's a big difference between a 6-point lead and a 9-point lead.
I think that man right there, Jim Mora, has to be really pleased with what he's seen out of his team in the first half. We talked at the top. Attacking, relentless, full of energy team. That's what he's had in the first half. Did they leave some points offensively? Yes, but overall, he has to be excited by what he's seen.
Visa halftime report coming up with our gang in LA. Highlights, scores, Fox Sports ticker all coming your way. Yeah, I think Jim Mora has done, to this point, a terrific job of having this team ready to play undermanned.
And he started it as soon as they met on Monday. Hey, just give me 45 guys ready to play.
This will be a 43-yard attempt by Murray. It is no good. And you can see the disappointment on the face of Jim Mora as it remains a 6-point game with 9 seconds left, and a big opportunity that the Seahawks had to turn it into a more comfortable 9-point bowl.
They actually ran it exactly as they wanted to. You know, people would argue and say, well, why wouldn't you take a shot at the end zone? But they wanted to make sure they got points at the end of the half. Thought that they had it set up perfectly, and missed field goal foiled those plans.
That's the first miss for Orlando Murray this year. And the Bears will take over on the 33. Bears have no timeouts remaining.
And don't expect them to just sit on it here with Jay Cutler at quarterback.
Hester to the bottom of your picture, and they're going to play it safe. Hand off to Forte. And that should do it. That'll be the last play. So Seneca Wallace does a good job in moving his team, and they'll have the lead. The end of the first half with the score. Seahawks 13, Bears 7. Fox NFL Sunday continues with the Visa halftime report. The game, and then later on the Bears came back and got that last touchdown on the pass to Greg Olsen from Jay Cutler to close the gap. Ready for the second half coming up with the Seahawks up 13-7. So no turnover there, and that resulted in a touchdown as he was down by contact. The next play was a TD pass to make it 13-7, and then in the final seconds of the first half, the missed field goal by Olindo Mare. So what could have been a 9-point game was a 6. And now we go to the second half. Seahawks get the ball first.
Yeah, and I think that they have to reestablish the high-paced, high-energy offense that they ran to start the ball game, where they moved the ball up and downfield. You saw the screens, you saw the draws, a good running game from Julius Jones. Seneca Wallace with some nice, easy throws. They've got to get back to that. They played for a field goal at the end of the half. Didn't get it. That's got to be a little bit deflating. And
it was a smart play because it could have made it a 9-point game, but the air is a little bit out of their balloon after that. We'll see if the Bears defense can take advantage of that in this first series.
They'll have to step up and attack a little bit more because it felt like they tucked their horns in a little bit. The right play, sure, but now you've got to show that you're going to go back and punch them in the mouth a couple more times.
Second half is underway, and it'll be Forsett coming over to make the grab on the kick return, and Forsett brings it out to about the 28-yard line, and that's where Seneca Wallace will go to work. Wallace was 12 of 20 for 138 yards. Touchdown pass on the screen to Julius Jones, and no interceptions. That was Cutler's numbers, 12 of 16. He threw a pick. Mare missing the field goal at the end of the half. So as you just mentioned, we'll see if the Seahawks can pick up where they left off, leading the way in that first half. Julius Jones on the counter gets to the 34-yard line. Lance Briggs making the stop on the play, and Hillenmeyer slow getting up.
And that would be a key loss for them, having already lost Brian Urlacher in the middle. Hunter Hillenmeyer took to the left side of your screen. Hillenmeyer being blocked by Chris Spencer, the starting center. He just plants it and finishes him off at the end.
After the 6-yard gain, second down and 4. And there is the quick out to Houshmandzadeh, and he'll get the first down as he fumbles, and the Bears may get it back. The Bears were all over the football, and they recover it. Adewale Ogunleye makes the recovery, and so the Seahawks, in the last worst-case scenario, turn the ball over on their first possession, and it's Houshmandzadeh, who this week talked about how the Bears weren't interested in acquiring his services, and he said he would dominate against the Bears secondary.
Charles Tillman with the first hit. And I think it might have been punch free by Danielle Manning, number 38. Look at the Bears surrounding him. Manning behind, Tillman in the front, Payne.
And a first down for the Bears on the Seahawks 42. Jones, or check that. That was Forte. Off tackle, gets to the 35-yard line. A gain of 7 yards. So Forte with 15 carries, 43 yards. And how about that? 175 takeaways in the last 5 years, the most in the league. Second and 3. And a good catch made by Hester. Devin Hester with the grab inside the 15. 22 yards. And the Bears in position to take the lead on their first possession of the second half.
Jay Cutler goes to his deep threat, Devin Hester, crossing into the middle of the zone and goes up and catches the football for a big gainer.
And the Bears with a fast tempo on this first possession. First down, and Forte straight ahead gets inside the 10-yard line. Hawthorne with the tackle and a 5-yard pickup. You pointed it out earlier, Charles, that the Seahawks, despite the good showing there made with all of the reserves in there, left a lot of points on the table. Missing a touchdown, having to settle for a field goal, then the missed field goal. And now after Hushmanzada's turnover. Bears threaten 2nd and 5. Forte, and nothing there as Brandon Mebane making the play. 1-yard gain for Forte.
I think the defensive front of Seattle has played pretty well all game long. In the last goal line stand, even when Chicago scored, they made them throw the ball in the end zone in order to try and score.
So it's 3rd and 4. Cutler looking to throw and goes underneath to Johnny Knox, and Knox dives in, and he's in for the touchdown. So Agunlie recovers the fumble by Hushmanzada, and the Bears strike quickly. A 7-yard touchdown pass. Cutler to Knox.
Just a shallow crossing route by Johnny Knox, and what a great move he put on Aaron Curry. And then, as Kelly Jennings tries to bump him out of bounds, watch him reach the football and hit the pylon, and that's a touchdown.
So Knox with his second touchdown catch of the season. You're going to be seeing a lot of him. And a whistle, and the challenge flag thrown by Jim Mora.
And I would have to think what he's challenging is, was Johnny Knox out of bounds before he put the ball on the pylon? See, as he's reaching there, I think he hits the pylon before he ends up with his body out of bounds. See, his takeoff point, watch.
Ruling on the field of a touchdown. We'll review the play.
See, the last step with his foot was in bounds.
We're going to take a break right now. Jim Mora challenging whether Knox was over or not.
Reach for the goal line, touch the goal line pylon. The result of the play, touchdown.
Charles, you didn't need a replay.
I didn't need it, and Don Carey just narrated it perfectly with our replay. Foot in bounds, the last foot, the inside foot is left foot, and then he hits the ball, the pylon with the ball, touchdown. He narrated the replay perfectly because the foot was in bounds as a takeoff point. And then he was airborne, ball hits the pylon, touchdown.
So he has a broadcast future then if he narrated the replay.
You know, I can't do his job, but he can do mine.
Robbie Gould looking to give the Bears their first lead of the game, and he does. So an impressive drive, 5 plays, 42 yards, and 240 for Jay Cutler. And the Bears lead by 1. He is 1 for 5 with a fumble, and why talk during the week and put more pressure on yourself when you're going up against the Bears team when you have your backup quarterback?
Bottom line is, if you're going to talk about, you have to produce. Otherwise, you set yourself up for that debate. Still a long way to go.
4 set at the 5. Bears missed him once, brings it out to the 26-yard line where Rasheed Davis has had a fine special teams game today, and that's where Seneca Wallace will go to work.
And I see Edgerrin James coming into the huddle with the Seattle Seahawks.
Edgerrin James, the NFL's active leader in rushing yards with over 12,100 yards. And he is in the backfield now, leads all active players. And last time the Seahawks had the ball to start the third quarter, they turned it over, and the Bears capitalized in a hurry. And Chicago with the 1-point lead. First down at the 26. Seneca Wallace with a defender in his face goes down, and a flag goes down as well. Penalty marker there, and it was Agunlie who came in a hurry to Seneca Wallace.
And the Bears becoming much more aggressive on defense now versus tight formations as shown by Seattle.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 95 of the defense, 15-yard penalty. The foul was behind the line of scrimmage and will be enforced from behind the line.
Take a look from the left side, and right there was the grass. That was Anthony Adams, number 95. Getting the face mask.
So the Seahawks get a break there, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 33. And here's a handoff to Edgerrin James. And James brings it out close to the 40-yard line. Gain of 6 yards on 1st down with Hillenmeyer making the tackle. Hillenmeyer has taken his lumps today at middle linebacker.
But he stayed in there the whole time. You know, each time you see him get up slowly, he goes back and makes another play.
2nd and 4. Again to James. Tripped up behind the line. And it was Roach that time who made the play, and another penalty flag is down.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. 53 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Best play of this drive for the Seahawks is the grab of face mask. First to Edgerrin James, first to Seneca Wallace, this time to Edgerrin James, Nick Roach, number 53.
So that's the 6th penalty against the Bears. Back-to-back almost face mask penalties, and that has to frustrate Lovie Smith.
And it's changed field position. 2 back-to-back penalties have really helped out Seattle that way.
From the 45-yard line of the Bears, Wallace gets away from danger, and his pass is caught by Nate Burleson. And Tillman will wrestle him down. So 20 yards in penalties, really hurting the Bears on this drive. And the Seahawks will get it on the 21-yard line as Wallace escaped Ogunlie's pressure.
Watch Nate Burleson. He's going to find open space. Why? Because he sees his quarterback break contain, get out of the pocket, and he makes sure he finds an open area with no defenders and presents himself as a target.
Charles, how do you like the way he clapped and said right now?
Right now. Not that Seneca Wallace could hear him, but that was his emphasis. I'm open.
24-yard gain. 1st down at the 21. Edgerrin James on the handoff. And he's not going to get anything there thanks to Mark Anderson. So 2nd down and 10. Seahawks in their 2nd possession of the 2nd half turned it over the 1st time, and the Bears capitalized quickly on a 5-play 42-yard drive, and now Seattle looking to take the lead back. Matt Hasselbeck.
Seneca Wallace's legs continue to be the story in the pass game for Seattle.
Well, he's gotten out of danger, hasn't he, a number of times.
Here they come again.
And a pass caught by Burleson. Afalava was coming up the middle on Seneca Wallace, and that is a dimension that he has given the Seahawks today.
And notice this time he didn't flush right or left. He just continued to go straight back to gain space as Al Afalava, number 24, came after him, and that created the opportunity to complete the pass to Nate Burleson.
And a good catch by Burleson, who has 7 grabs for 90 yards. And after that 6-yard pickup, it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Seahawks on the Bears 16.
Late substitution for Chicago. They've got to call timeout because they weren't sure about their package, who was in, who was out.
Nathan Vasher jumped onto the field, and so the Bears, using up their first timeout of the 2nd half, will return. Back in there now.
And they love what he brings to the table. He can pick up the pass protections very well as a blocker, can swing out of the backfield and catch the football, gives them what they need. Don't be surprised to see him get more and more playing time as this season goes along.
Boy, he really was a flash last week in the losing cause, Charles, against the 49ers. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
That's him to the right and now shifting over to the left of the quarterback.
And here's Seneca Wallace, pass off the fingertips of Deion Branch. So that'll bring up 4th down. You can't always convert to 3rd downs, but the Seahawks have had a lot of chances today.
Watch the pickup. Forsett with the blitz pickup, and that ball a little bit high. Elevate Deion Branch. Elevate. Make the play and keep the drive alive.
Well, that'll bring on Orlando Mare, and you can see the frustration of Wallace.
And remember, this is Deion Branch's first game back from injury.
34-yard field goal attempt to give the Seahawks the lead again. And this kick is no good, so Mare has missed 2 in a row, has hooked them both. And the crowd expressing their displeasure, not to mention Jim Mora, and it remains a 14-13 Chicago lead.
After a nice drive, Seneca Wallace thinks it's going to pay off in 3 points. Quick disappointment as Orlando Mare misses his 2nd field goal of the day.
Bears have had the advantage. Last week, Jeff Reed missed 2 field goals. Mare has missed 2 today. Cutler to Hester on 1st down. On the quick, goes out of bounds after picking up about 6. And let's get a game break from Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Nothing but field goals between San Diego and Miami until this. Phillip Rivers on the draw play puts the Chargers up 10-6 right now. By the way, Chad Pennington had to leave that game with a shoulder injury. Dick and Charles.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much.
Tough for the Dolphins. Chad Henne or Pat White at quarterback.
Seahawks know what it's like to go to their backup, and now a one-hopper to Hester, and that'll be extra bases. Incomplete pass.
It'd go down as an E5, though. Right through his legs.
3rd down and 6. Devin Hester has caught 3 for 31 yards. Olsen and Forte have each caught 4. Seahawks have not been able to get to Cutler yet today.
And look at the formation, bunch pattern for Jay Cutler right here with Olsen and Hester in it.
And Knox to the top on 3rd down and 6. And looking to the top. And there's the pass. Knox, but he's out of bounds. Well covered downfield by the veteran Ken Lucas. So 4th down coming up, and Maynard will come in to kick it away.
And Ken Lucas came into the game a bit gimpy with a groin injury, but runs just fine here and does a nice job of taking Knox all the way over the sideline. Even if this ball's completed, it's an incompletion because he's not in the field of play, as Jay Cutler takes another hit, this time from Darryl Tapp, number 55.
Justin Forsett standing on the 25 as Maynard kicking it away with just under 8 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Fair catch called for, and the Bears are going to get a break here as the ball will bounce inside the 10. Doesn't quite reach the 5, but you get the idea, and that was about a 20-yard decision made by Forsett to let it roll. We'll be back.
The ball hit, and when you're receiving a punt, he signals fair catch, has a chance, lets it hit, gives up about 18 yards of hidden yardage against his team.
And Roach chasing Seneca Wallace, whose pass is intercepted. And Lowrullet, Chicago ball apparently, and down by contact at the 14. And a big turnover there as Lance Briggs. Critical turnover by Seattle.
Now remember, he is outside of the pocket, so he can legally ground the football as long as the ball gets to the line of scrimmage or beyond. Instead, he tries to slot in a throw on the run with a sidearm motion, and Lance Briggs is able to make a play on the ball. Looks like he's had both hands underneath the ball to make the catch. And boys, he put his team in a tough spot. That's one that has to be thrown away.
So 2 turnovers here in the 2nd half. The fumble by Houshmandzadeh and the interception. And the Bears with a 1st down on the 14 of the Seahawks. Here is Matt Forte, and he is driven back at about the 12-yard line by the free safety Jordan Babineau after a pickup of 2. So the Seahawks did not allow a touchdown in the first 2 games of the season in the red zone. Today, they have given up 2.
And they'll dispute one of those
yep.
because of the fumble, no fumble against Matt Forte.
Hunter Hillenmeyer questionable with ribs. We'll get more on that. 2nd down and 8. Play action for Cutler, and he goes underneath to Greg Olsen, who is stopped at the 7-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd down.
That's been a favorite play today of Jay Cutler with Greg Olsen. Little fake inside, quick pop to Greg Olsen. See if they come back with something similar looking that maybe goes against flow to try and get a receiver out in the flat opposite of where he's throwing the ball now.
3rd down, Travis Fisher comes in as the extra defensive back. And another tight end is checked in. Hester and Bennett split to the right, and Matt Forte to the left.
That's Bennett in the slot.
On 3rd and 4, Cutler giving ground, loses the ball, and recovered by Williams, the right tackle. And that will send the field goal team on, and he recovers it at the 19-yard line.
Tremendous job by the Seattle defense. Look at the pressure coming from the right side. Patrick Kearney stripping the ball, knocking Cutler down, and the Bears are fortunate that Chris Williams is able to dive on the football and preserve a field goal attempt.
And this will be a 37-yarder by Robbie Gould. And Robbie Gould's kick is good. He has made now the last 33 field goals, make it 34 under 40 yards. And the Bears now take a 4-point lead, 17-13. So with plenty of time remaining in this game, and Chicago gets 3 following the interception by Briggs. And Kearney really kept it to a field goal attempt here.
Exactly. I mean, this play here, Seneca Wallace, one of the few poor decisions he's made today. He's not unable to get anything on the ball, throws the ball sidearm, and right now he's thinking, why did I throw it in the first place? He was outside the pocket. He could have grounded it legally, come back to fight another down. But really, the Seattle Seahawks defense, you made the point, Dick, only gave up 3. That's a tremendous defensive possession for them.
And so Briggs with the interception. That's the 2nd of the season by the Bears. Tillman picked off one last week. And so we have Obamano and Forsett back deep for the Seahawks. 5:31 remaining in the 3rd. Total yard story has been about even. The Seahawks have 11 more rushing yards. And the Bears 19 more yards in the air. This has been an even game, really. Here's Forsett, 2 yards in the end zone. Justin Forsett. And it's tackled from behind. Well, this October, the American League's best teams will collide in a month of unscripted and thrilling moments. October 16th will be Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Will it be the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Angels, ALCS coming your way? And I'll tell you what, anytime you have a Yankee-Red Sox possibility, you can't argue with that one. Well, what about this game now? Obviously, the Seahawks are fortunate. They've turned it over twice in their end, and they're only down by 4.
Yeah, and it's a team that is really fighting hard because momentum could have really shifted to Chicago, but the Seahawks held them to a field goal on the last play, on the last possession, and that was huge.
Jones gets about 3.
I'm sorry, Dick. Now can this offense go ahead and get moving again? Seneca Wallace knows he made a bad play, a bad throw. He was fortunate to give up only 3. Can they get moving again and get things reestablished, give their defense a little bit of a break?
Poise becomes important here.
Becomes very important here because they know they've left a number of points out on the field already. All right, they didn't get what they were supposed to get. Now they need to go ahead and get downfield and get some of those points back.
2nd down and 6, and the pitch is to Julius Jones, has blocking off the left side. And Julius Jones with a 1st down and out of bounds. Good run by Jones. He has come up big for the Seahawks in this game. And they'll spot it at the 39-yard line and a gain of 15.
I think if you're Seattle and you want to run it, it almost becomes situation substitution. Julius Jones when you truly want to run the football. Justin Forsett when you want to throw the ball in your 3rd down package. have those two backs alternate in the course of your offense.
And Julius Jones with a 71-yard effort, averaging 6.5 yards per carry. First down at the 39. They're going to the hot man, Jones, but the Bears snuff him out after a gain of 3, thanks to Lance Briggs.
And Dick, there's been a change at linebacker. You mentioned last series, Hunter Hillenmeyer. Ribbs was being checked out. Now they've gone with Nick Roach in the middle, number 53, who had been a starter at outside linebacker. He moves into the middle. Lance Briggs making the tackle on that play with some help from some other teammates. And Nick Roach moves into the middle now. Lance Briggs outside, and Jamar Williams, number 52, comes into the game.
Play action, pressure on Seneca Wallace, and the pass is caught by Nate Burleson. And he was hit immediately after the play, but a first down at the 47-yard line with Bowman on the coverage.
Nate Burleson missed 2008 with a torn knee ligament and has come back so strong and having a terrific day, working this time against Bowman downfield, and this is a well-thrown ball. Nice and sharp into a small target, and Burleson makes the catch for a first down.
And the Seahawks are playing up-tempo on offense, just as the Bears have. First down, Seneca Wallace throws incomplete. Intended for his tight end, John Carlson.
Dick, some guys are very proficient at throwing off of their back foot and being accurate. Seneca Wallace is not one of those guys. Watch, this is a back foot throw, not really stepping. He's falling away and back on the throw. And when he does that, ball tends to go high on him. And he also dropped his arm motion from up top to sidearm.
Jay Cutler.
He can make those throws.
He can make a lot from every angle. Julius Jones, and doesn't get anything there as the Bears close up the middle, led by Briggs and Adonijay. Big game for Lance Briggs with an interception which set up a Bears field goal to give them a 4-point lead. Rod Marinelli, former head coach of Detroit, and I'll tell you, he has found a great home in Chicago. Lovie Smith said, if I had been out of a job, I have worked for him. I've known him a long time. He works for me. It couldn't be a better scenario. Third down and 11 for Wallace. Stepping up and on the run, throws to Houshmandzadeh, and a first down to the 34. 13 yards, and the crowd yells, "Hoosh!" They got to him. His popularity in a hurry, haven't they?
He's had a really tough afternoon. There's Houshmandzadeh going to run right in here and circle and sit down in between. See that? And the throw, he does. Seneca Wallace does a good job with the throw because he doesn't keep him moving into the teeth of the defense. He sits him down right there for the completion.
After 8 years with the Bengals, he has 2 catches today, and the pitch to Forsett. Here is Justin Forsett, and he is stopped by Jamar Williams at the 30. He got 3 on that play as we have a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Forsett will come out of the game as Julius Jones and the fullback Owen Schmidt come back. Greg Knapp, who likes the running game, that's been his preference over the years, it seems.
Yeah, and he's done a great job of it. Where Greg Knapp is an offensive coordinator, typically your team finishes in the top 10 in the league in rushing.
This is the 9th play of this drive. And a false start penalty against Seattle.
False start, offense, number 81, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Tough when it's the wide receiver, Charles.
Yeah, it drives coaches absolutely crazy. Guys farthest away from the ball, going in motion.
But
I think they'll cut him a little bit of slack though with this day. All right, you know, he may get a negative on that play sheet, but mostly positives for Nate Burleson.
Second down and 12. Kevin Payne is in for Afalava. That strong safety being chased, and the throw up for grabs, and it's caught by Houshmandzadeh on a jump ball play. 15-yard gain, and it will be a first down at the 21.
Alex Brown, number 96, where it gets Brandon Fry, and he chases Seneca Wallace out of the pocket. Now, this is an ill-advised throw. That's one he's really put up for grabs. And fortunately for him, TJ Hushmanzada went up and competed and took the football away from the defenders.
It's one of those no, yeah.
Great play.
First down, time running out in the third quarter, and Julius Jones is driven back by a group of Bears led by Nick Roach. No gain on the play, and time runs out. That is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Bears 17, the Seahawks 13. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local.
A game of emotion. You have to play with emotion in order to compete in the National Football League. And the Bears and the Seahawks united in their quest to win this football game.
They sure are, and I tell you, the Seahawks deserve a lot of credit to this point to be in this game against the Bear team. You know, the Bears looked upon this game. Look, we got to take advantage of all these injuries, including the quarterback.
That's Forsett out of the backfield all the way wide.
Second down and 10. The pass up the middle, and it led Carlson a little too much, I think, and that'll go incomplete, bringing up 3rd and 10. We start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton and Charles Davis. Seneca Wallace taking over at quarterback for the injured Matt Hasselbeck, out with a broken rib suffered last week against the 49ers.
And I like that last call because Seattle spread Chicago out. At least that way you get a chance to, as we look at Matt Hasselbeck, the starting quarterback looking on, gives you a better chance of identifying where the pressure is coming when you widen out your own formation.
3rd down and 10. Wallace's pass is tipped. And it's 4th down. Kevin Payne was charging in, might have gotten a hand on it, so it's another field goal situation. And now this becomes a big field goal try.
Yeah, big for the confidence of Orlando Mare, and Kevin Payne does a nice job. When you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up in the passing lane. That's exactly what he did.
So Mare, who has missed his last 2 field goal tries, will attempt this from 39 yards out, try to bring the Seahawks to within 1. And Mare's kick is good. So he ends the slump. He has made good on 3, has missed 2, and the Bears' lead has been cut to 1 early here in this fourth quarter. Welcome back to Seattle on a splendid day. 13-play, 59-yard drive, capped by Mare's field goal. And that ended a string of 17 unanswered points by the Bears. Mare will be kicking off, and Johnny Knox about 9 yards deep in the end zone, and the Bears will start from the 20. Early in the fourth quarter, Jay Cutler takes the helm once more.
On the road with the Chicago Bears, but Jay Cutler last week at home, 9 of 10, 92 yards, a touchdown, a nearly flawless fourth quarter, leading his team to a victory. He says, this is exactly why I was brought here to Chicago. For these types of situations, have the ball in my hand with the game on the line.
He has a 1-point lead now, and the crowd is in full throat. Garrett Wolf in at running back, number 25. And Wolf getting the call. And Wolf hit by Deion Grant after a couple of yards, and Kurt Menefee has a game break for us. Kurt?
Well, the Saints, the highest scoring offense in the league, not so today, although this run by Pierre Thomas of 34 yards extends their advantage over the Buffalo Bills in the fourth quarter. It's 17-7, Saints on top. Dick and Charles.
Saints trying to make it 3-0. 2nd and 7. Here's Wolf again. And he gets about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Lawrence Jackson makes the tackle he did not carry last week. It's Wolf along with Adrian Peterson and, of course, the starter Matt Forte. But Ron Turner said we would see number 25 today.
Said they had a package prepared for him and specifically for this ball game. Last week, Adrian Peterson spelled Matt Forte 1 time per half to give him a little bit of a break.
3rd and 1. Wolf not going to get there. Giving ground. And Red Bryant coming up to make the big play. And the Bears will have to kick.
The surprise to me here is that Matt Forte doesn't come back in the game on a short yardage carry like this. Instead, they go with the smaller running back, Garrett Wolf, and they run a little bit of a stretch play. Great penetration by the defensive front of Seattle, and Red Bryant finishes him off and forces a punt.
Maynard will be kicking, and back deep is Nate Burleson. Burleson at the 21. Can't get away by the relentless coverage team of the Bears, and it was Adrian Peterson who made the play. So Red Bryant coming up with a big third down play. We'll see what the Seahawks offense has. Williams is out at left guard. Mansfield Rotto, number 66, replaces him. And Hunter Hillenmeyer with a rib injury, not returning. And they moved Roach over to the middle and Jamar Williams to the outside. And Tommy Harris is not in the game right now. First down and play action for Seneca Wallace. His pass is caught and downed immediately by Zachary Bowman is Dion Butler. So the first catch of the day by Dion Butler, the third-round pick from Penn State, who broke all of the Nittany Lion receiving records set by Bobby Ingram, who played for both of these teams.
And this sequence so important now for Seneca Wallace to take care of the football.
Second down and 2, Julius Jones, and stopped short for no gain.
I mean, right, Dick, we've seen throughout this game, Seneca Wallace has done a lot of great things in this game. But we've also seen a couple of times been very questionable about throwing the football. One turned into an interception by Lance Briggs. One was up for grabs, and T.J. Houshmandzadeh made a great play. He has to take care of the ball here and not turn it over. 220
yards, 19 for 32. Jones has rushed for 73, caught for 33 yards, and Nate Burleson over 100. And there's the flip to Deion Branch. And here come the Bears, and the Bears get in there, and a big loss on the play. Nick Roach making the play. Anderson started it to allow Roach to make the play, and the Seahawks lose 8.
What they're trying to do is use the Chicago Bears' quickness and aggressiveness against them by using a misdirection play. But Mark Anderson, in a defensive end, able to stay on his feet and force the play deeper and wider, and that allowed the rest of the defense to get there and finish it off.
Devin Hester back at about the 30, and John Ryan will be punting. And a booming punt. Great punt by Ryan. Sends Hester back to the 20. And loses the ball, but out of bounds. So the Bears will maintain possession after a 61-yard kick by Ryan. Bears have the ball. 1 point. Jay Cutler, outstanding percentage today. 2 TDs, 1 interception. Forte, good all-round game, and Bennett leading the receivers with 3 catches for 73 yards. First and 10 at the 29. Cutler's pass, and Hester makes a shoe top catch covered by Lucas, and a gain of 9.
And the Bears have brought Matt Forte back into the game. Their goal this season was to get him a break on at least 1 series per half. Remember, he touched the ball, 379 times last year? An amazing amount of times. They're trying to extend not just his career, but a little bit of longevity in his legs.
Second and 1. At Forte, first down, as he dives forward to the 45-yard line. And I would think with Cutler aboard, with the ability to hit targets, that would help Forte.
The Seahawks brought the safety right there. Deion Grant came a long way on the blitz, and watch what happens. He gets swallowed up. That's the gap he was shooting. Matt Forte almost broke a big one.
Hey, Frank Gore last week broke 2 just like that. First down at the 44 of the Bears. And they go to Forte again, and a great play made by Aaron Curry. Rookie from Wake Forest and the 4th overall pick and a loss of 2 for Chicago.
Last week, Aaron Curry had a couple of times where he had some trouble getting guys on the ground in key situations. Not so on this play. Watches his keys, shoots through the gap, and makes an excellent tackle on Matt Forte.
Bears leading by 1. Greg Olsen is split to the left. There is the bunch, so to speak, a wide bunch. Cutler on the screen to Forte. And slowing him up was Colin Cole, and Kelly Jennings, after the 3-yard gain, makes the play. And for a game break, here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Dolphins lost Chad Pennington to a shoulder injury, so Chad Henne now in at quarterback. Maybe not a wise decision there. Eric Weddle with the pick, 4-6, and it's a 23-6 San Diego in firm control lead. In the 4th quarter, Dick and Charles.
Henne is supposed to be the quarterback of next year, Charles.
Yeah, he didn't realize it was going to be today.
Third and 9. Cutler, and the ball's loose. It's a free ball, and the Seahawks have it. Corey Redding recovers it for Seattle in Bear territory. Aaron Curry may have forced it here.
Aaron Curry knocked the ball away before Jay Cutler could start his motion. The empty hand there, meaning that ball's live and a fumble. And Corey Redding scoops it and tries to get to the other end zone before he's tackled by Greg Olsen and a teammate. But a great job on the edge by Aaron Curry, the rookie linebacker from Wake Forest.
And the Seahawks on the 39-yard line of the Bears. And Julius Jones on the carry. Picks up about 2.5 yards with Bowman on the tackle. 8 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The Bears lead the Seahawks by 1. Seattle at one point led 13-0. 17 unanswered points by Chicago before the field goal cut it to 1. And the turnover story is all even.
Nate Burleson's had a heck of a game. Here he is on the bottom of the screen.
And the slant pass caught by Burleson, right on it. And let's see if his forward progress will be enough for a first down. It'll be close. They'll say he's short by about a yard. Seneca Wallace has hit 20 of 33 for 227 yards, making his 13th career start.
And 2 of their best pass catchers came out, TJ Hushmanzada and Nate Burleson.
Tight formation on 3rd and 1. They go to Julius Jones. Let's see if his second effort is enough for the first down. This has turned into a grueling game.
On 3rd and short, who reestablishes the line of scrimmage? It looks fairly even there. And as you pointed out, partner, it was the second effort of Julius Jones that picked up the first down, because Chicago was right there, being wrapped up by Danielle Manning. Mark Anderson trying to help, and he kept pushing forward and got the additional yardage.
First down on the 28. Seneca Wallace gets out of trouble again. Idonije, or check that, that's Tommy Harris chasing him. And a loss of 3 yards. So the losses really sting there, because it makes the field goal possibility longer if it comes down to that. We know the problems that Murray has had today.
Remember, outside of the tackle box, tackle to tackle, you can ground the ball legally as long as the ball reaches the line of scrimmage or beyond on your throw. Seneca Wallace should have thrown that into the first deck and saved the yardage. Instead, he loses 3 and brings up 2nd and 13 instead of 2nd and 10.
Wallace's pass caught by Hushmanzada, and won't get much after that as Danielle Manning wrestles him out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 12.
And I don't expect Lovie Smith, who's now calling the defenses for Chicago, to be passive in this situation. Remember, they don't want to give up the field goal here, right? 17-16 game, field goal puts them ahead. You want to have them lose as much yardage as possible. Watch for them to heat them up.
Lovie has been anything but passive, blitzing a lot more. Here's the low snap on 3rd and 11. Seneca Wallace, and his pass is nearly intercepted by Afalava. And that will bring up 4th down. And once again, Seneca Wallace is fortunate on that pass.
His mobility got him out of trouble and gave him a direct line of sight. But how about the play by Al Afalava, the defensive back? Sometimes you just have to give credit to a good defensive play. And that's exactly what happened here, because if Afalava doesn't make that play, I think it's a completed pass to Houshmandzadeh.
46-yard field goal attempt, trying to give the Seahawks the lead here in the 4th quarter. And Murray's kick is good. You think Jim Mora has gone through the ringer in this game, and the Seahawks lead 19-17 now as Murray with 4 field goals in 6 tries. And now, Charles, you can say that Jay Cutler would say this is why they brought me here, trailing to get the winning score down the field, and he has that opportunity now.
The ball will be in his hands with the game on the line.
Well, if you've told anyone that Seattle would come in without their starting quarterback and missing 8 starters against a Bear team that looked so impressive in beating the Steelers last week and playing as well as they have, but all that counts really is the W at the end of the day.
Exactly. Maybe Jim Mora did have this team sit down and watch 300 before they kicked off today and gain a little extra inspiration.
By the way, I never caught that film.
Didn't?
No.
All right, well, we'll have to get that in your repertoire.
Here's the kickoff by Murray with Johnny Knox on the bounce, returning it from the 2. And the speed spur from Abilene Christian runs into a stone wall at the 27, named C.J. Wallace. Well, next week, NFL on Fox doubleheader. The Lions play the Bears. Lions finally won today. Bears hope to do the same. Seahawks go to Indy. Second game of the doubleheader, the Cowboys face the Broncos in Denver. That's never an easy place to play.
Not at all. And we're getting 2 Mannings for the price of 1 next week. Eli, 13-game winning drives, and Peyton, 39-game winning drives.
Starting from the 29. Bears trailed by 2. Cutler flips it to Matt Forte, and great awareness by Jay Cutler, who did not have any targets downfield and managed to get 4 yards.
You know, one thing you hear about Jay Cutler, amidst criticism, fiercely competitive. That play demonstrated it to me. He's going to try and make something happen at all times.
Johnny Knox to the bottom of your picture, 2nd and 5. Handoff to Forte. First down, running into his own man. He ran into Chris Williams, his right tackle, and knocked him over en route to a gain of 11.
And Ron Turner, the play caller for the Chicago Bears,
taking a breather.
yeah. But he understands the situation. They only need 3. There's over 4 minutes left. He can afford to be patient, air quotes, in his play calling there. Plenty of time still to run the football. They don't have to become pass happy.
Adrian Peterson checks in the backfield for the Bears. First down at the 45, short drop. And this one is caught by Bennett. And Bennett goes down at the 48 of Seattle, picking up 7. As we approach 3.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, each team has 2 timeouts in their pocket.
And right now, the Chicago Bears relying on memory muscles. They did this last week. Big game-winning drive with Jay Cutler leading it. So there's a belief there from the Bears that they can go down and do it again.
Second and 3 to Adrian Peterson. First down inside the 40. Kearney making the tackle, but the Bears using the clock and keeping the ball on the ground with under 3 minutes to go.
And the reason Kearney made that tackle, zone blitz. Watch him drop out of the line looking for the pass, so he's able to fall back into the play. Ordinarily, the defensive end is not going to make this tackle this far downfield unless he's in a zone blitz situation.
Hester to the left and Bennett to the right. First down with 2.5 to go on the 39 of the Seahawks. And they run it with Peterson again. This is a ball control drive, make no mistake about it. Hawthorne making the tackle after the 3-yard pickup, and this may be the last play before the 2-minute warning. And we're going to get down to the 2-minute warning as Robbie Gould prepares just in case. With 2 minutes to go in regulation, and Robbie Gould's career-long field goal is 49. That red line is where they'd have to get to attempt the 49.
That would be the 32-yard line. And then if you add the 7 for the snap and the hold, 49-yard line. I think comfortably you want to be around the 28-27-yard line for a comfortable shot.
Second down and 7 on the 36. Cutler's pass and caught by Hester, and he's on his feet and going in for the touchdown. Flag is down. Penalty marker down at the 42. And it'll go against the Seahawks, roughing the passer. Called against them. And the touchdown will count.
And I think the Bears here will want to go for 2.
36-yard pass play as Patrick Kearney with a few words for the referee Don Carey. And the Bears going for 2.
And people are wondering, why would you blitz here if you're Seattle? You know why? Because of what we set up the field goal. You want to get them out of field goal range. That's why you blitz in that situation. Instead, it works against them because Hester makes a great play, bounces off the tackle and goes in the end zone. But that's why the blitz was called by Gus Bradley, to try and knock them out of field goal range.
And Hester beat Fisher and Grant, so they're going to go for 2 now with a 4-point lead. For Cutler, his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. Now the 2-point conversion. Cutler's pass to a wide open Earl Bennett. And it's now 25-19. 1:52 remaining in the 4th quarter. So it'll be the challenge of Seneca Wallace and the offense against Lovie Smith and his defensive calls down the stretch.
See the pressure. Patrick Kearney gets there just a little bit late, and what a catch by Devin Hester. And 2 Seahawks going up for the ball also essentially knock each other out of the play. See that? Deion Grant, number 24, going for the ball, knocks his teammate off of the ball. Touchdown Chicago. And then on the 2-point play, Earl Bennett wide open in the end zone on an outbreaking route.
And that is the 2nd touchdown catch of the year for Hester. And there you see jumping around the Bears offense. It's been a challenge today, but they We're down at 1 point, 13-0, but have come back.
Watch this. You know it's going to be as kind of a pick play inside. See that? And see the two there picked off? And watch Earl Bennett just ends up to the outside. So back-to-back plays, defensive backs have essentially picked themselves off and knocked themselves out of the play. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, Chicago.
And it's the first NFL points for Bennett.
There's his college teammate, Jay Cutler. They got the band back together, Dick.
The Commodores. Anyway, here's the kickoff by Robbie Gould from the 45-yard line. Following the roughing the passer penalty, it goes into the end zone down there, and the Seahawks will start from the 20. And for a game, Drake, let's check in again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the defending Super Bowl champion Steelers might be on the verge of going to 1-2. Final seconds, Carson Palmer hooks up with Andre Caldwell. They don't get the 2-point conversion. It's 23-20 right now with 2 seconds left in the ball game.
What a shocker there.
Hey, well, how about the Bengals picking themselves off the mat after week 1 with that immaculate deflection, or whatever you wanted to call it? That could truly deflate a team. Bengals have gotten right back into it. A win last week and possibly one today.
You know, Marvin Lewis, one of the years things would break for him. Meanwhile, the Seahawks hope things break for them. First down at the 20-yard line. Seneca Wallace's pass, and it's going to be hitting Roach, who was covering downfield. Carlson, the intended receiver, but it bounced off of the linebacker. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
And what a great job by Nick Roach. You hear so much about the Tampa 2 coverage. That's what that was, but the key that makes the Tampa 2 coverage work is a linebacker, whether it's Hunter Hillenmeyer or Brian Urlacher or Nick Roach, able to run down the middle of the field and take away crossing routes.
So Hillenmeyer out with the rib injury. 2nd down and 10. This pass is caught by Carlson, and he gets hit hard by Roach and is about 2 yards shy of the first down. As we get close to a minute and a half remaining in the fourth, the Seahawks still with 2 timeouts remaining. The hurry up.
And there's Houshmandzadeh in the slot. Carlson right here.
It's a running play to Julius Jones. Spins away. Julius Jones getting close to midfield, out of bounds, and stops the clock at 1:20. Payne making the play, but Jones getting 20 big yards for the Seahawks.
And this is really a courageous play call by Greg Knapp, because the easy call is to throw the football in this situation on 3rd and short. Instead, he runs it. And the reason I say courageous, time element. You want to throw the football and keep the clock stopped.
Seahawks need a touchdown to regain the lead. Pressure on the Seneca Wallace, and overthrows Carlson. And he really had no choice there with all of the pressure coming up.
And what they did with the pressure was, again, put him back on his back foot, Dick, back on his heels, and he's throwing from that position, usually high with his throw. Watch. Here comes the pressure in his face, and off the back foot, and he throws it. It's a little bit too high, and he's got Carlson open in the seam.
2nd down and 10. Bears defense want to put away the Seahawks, and here comes the pressure in, and the quick pass to Carlson is caught, and Carlson will go out of bounds about a yard or so short of the first down, and stopping the clock with 1:12. There's Devin Hester, whose 36-yard touchdown catch, putting the Bears in front 25-19 following the 2-point conversion.
Offside. Defense, number 38. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Danielle Manning.
Now, he came up on the blitz and ended up stepping across the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. But Seneca Wallace felt the pressure from his side and threw opposite.
All the receivers are on the left side for Wallace. 3rd down and 1. Julius Jones, he'll have it. It'll be a first down for Seattle. As we wind down to a minute remaining. Now they still mark it 3rd down, and the official marked the ball, and they appear to be beyond the marker on the far side. They're going to measure here. I thought he had it. Well, he's going to be short. So it'll be 4th down and inches.
And as soon as they set the ball and whistle it good, clock starts. So 59 seconds to go in the ball game here.
And 4th down for the Seahawks.
But they still have 2 timeouts. Pick up 1st down. You know, I mean, the way Seneca Wallace runs, you might think sneak if it's that short. Get the 1st down, get your timeout.
Thought they would get the 1st down on that last play running.
They thought they had it. They have not marked it in for play yet.
4th and inches. So a stop by the Bears here will put it away. And a whistle before the play. And a timeout called by the Bears right before the snap.
Can you ice the quarterback?
Someone's getting iced. And the Bears, calling their 2nd timeout, have 1 remaining. Well, first things first, for the Seahawks, they need to get the 1st down to keep this game alive. And the Bears would end it by making the stop. But what a battle this has been today. And I guess anytime you come out and play the Seahawks with the 12th man, it's going to be a problem. Although last year, Seattle, with a lot of injuries all season, won 4 games. They were 2-6 at home. So if you don't have a decent team out there, you're not going to win anywhere.
The 12th man comes into play when your team's playing well. That's when things get interesting for the visitors. And right now, Greg Knapp's got to evaluate whether or not you run a sneak again. Because if you just saw before the ball, you know, as the ball was snapped, they pinched the middle with 2 defensive tackles. If you're going to run a sneak, he's going to have to be over the guard on either side. He's going to have to slide one way or the other. We saw that last week with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons.
Clock set to 52 seconds. Okay. So here it is, 4th and inches for Seattle. Stumbling as he goes out is Seneca Wallace, and the pass is caught by John Owens. And a 1st down for Seattle.
I think he was trying to throw it deeper to John Carlson, and John Owens jumped up and snatched it. Watch, Seneca Wallace comes out on the naked bootleg, and he's got Owens short there, 86. But watch the trajectory of the football. See where it's going? That's Carlson right back there. He had him wide open too. I think Owens grabbed it. They got the 1st down, but I think he's looking for something bigger with Carlson.
You're absolutely right. And Owens, fortunately for him, managed to hold on to this ball.
See, there's Owens. Here's Carlson. Who do you think Seneca wants here?
Well, Carlson, of course.
Look at that. But they got the 1st down, so that's the good thing.
And they called a timeout. So Jim Mora's Seahawks have 1 timeout remaining. The ball is at the 37.
How about that call by Greg Knapp? They showed the sneak. Timeout came. Decided, hey, I've got to change that up. Put the ball in the hands of Wallace with the mobility.
Well, Seneca Wallace has 2 career 4th quarter comeback wins. He's got a long way to go here. They've got to get the ball downfield, and the Bears may know that. 1st down. Here's the pass, and it's caught by Deion Branch. It's a 1st down to the 31, and out of bounds, stopping the clock with 42 seconds after the gain of 6.
So much is focused on the offensive strategy of Seattle. How about the defensive strategy of the Bears? No prevent this whole drive. They've come after Seneca Wallace with pressure on almost every play because they want the ball unloaded quickly. They don't want him sitting back there using his legs to create a bigger play downfield.
Seahawks led by 2, trailing now where they need a touchdown to pull this game out. Seneca Wallace on the run, flips it, and it's caught by Julius Jones. Israel Adonijah putting pressure in from the backside.
See, and that time Lovie Smith pulled the string on him a little bit, showed the blitz. They had a bunch of guys mugging the line of scrimmage, then they dropped out late.
But they've got to get the ball downfield here. They need a touchdown, and they've been able to get peck away with some short yardage plays to stop the clock. 3rd down and 2, and 1 timeout left for Seattle.
Seattle's run the ball in this situation previously.
They need to get the ball down the field somehow.
There's Jones.
Seneca Wallace's pass incomplete. Carlson, the intended receiver, and it's knocked away by Afalava. So it's 4th and 2. Once again, Seahawks need to convert to stay alive.
Look at this matchup, though, that Seattle did not go to. Julius Jones matched up with Lance Briggs, a linebacker. They didn't have him run a deep route, though. Lance Briggs able to stay right there with him.
And it's not so much getting the 2 yards. They need the first down. And they've got to get in position to try to make an attempt to score a touchdown. And there's Wallace, loops it up and off the hands of Julius Jones with Nick Roach on good coverage as a linebacker, and that should do it as the Bears take over on downs, stopping what appears to be the final Seahawk drive.
Pass into the flat, and look at Nick Roach, number 53, close to get there in time to get the push that causes the incompletion on the pass to Julius Jones. What an example of being a true pro today by Nick Roach, changing positions in the middle of the game and making big plays down the stretch.
And Lovie Smith has nothing but smiles and hugs for his defensive unit. They would not let Seattle get anything deep downfield to get in position here. So the defense will get credit for winning this game. And just as they did last week, the Chicago Bears found a way to win. And they will go on to go 2-1. And a tough struggle, but a victory, beating the Seahawks 25-19.
And what a complete game for them now. Offense goes down the field and scores when they absolutely had to have it, and the defense got the stop on the other end.
Jay Cutler with 3 touchdown passes to spark the team. Bears were down 13-0. They had 17 unanswered points and got the big touchdown. Cutler to Hester proved to be the winner late in the game. There's the winning touchdown as the Bears go to 2-1. Seahawks drop to 1-2. And we'll be back here in Seattle in just a moment. Look at the Domino's Delivers leaderboard. Jay Cutler with 3 touchdown passes. Matt Forte with 106 total yards. Nate Burleson with 9 catches, 109 yards for Seattle. So the late touchdown, Cutler to Hester with under 2 minutes to go, and the big defensive stop wins it for the Bears 25-19. And so for Charles Davis and our Fox crew, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Seattle.
Needs a little something extra today. The Bears Kool-Aid, a little something extra today.
I mean, you know, when things look too good to be true, sound too good to be true.
Pat, all during the week, I kept saying, you know, all these guys injured. First, I thought they were padding the injury list a little bit because you see 13 guys, you go, wait a minute, come on. And then when you look, you know, the guys who are missing, Locklear, and, you know, you got Jones, the big tackles missing, this guy and that guy, middle linebackers missing. It just looked too good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Maybe upstairs, you know, the Bears flew out there thinking, hey, roll out the helmets, man, we got this one won.
Do you think the turning point was just before the half with Lovie's challenge on Forte's fumble at the 1-yard line? We all looked at it. I don't think any of us thought it was going to be reversed in the Bears' fortune.
I think it was. That was a coach, you know, taking advantage of the system right there. Even if the challenge failed, it was worth it to take that challenge. Fine, you lose a timeout, no big deal. But it started the momentum going in the Bears' favor, and it carried over to the second half. And I got to believe a little Newt Rockne speech at halftime didn't hurt either.
Hey, and Jerry, give me my props, man. Because I told you that was going to be reversed. I told you.
You did. As always, we want to hear from you. Send us your comments, and some of those will appear at the bottom of our sports ticker over the next 90 minutes. Keep them short, keep them clean. Go to csnchicago.com. Click on the Bears PGL icon. Or if you want to get us with your mobile device, if you're out and about right now, email us at bearspgl@comcastsportsnet.com.
Hey, Pat, what I didn't say is, of course, I think all of them are going to go the Bears' way. So
let's get this party going with our opening kickoff. And as always, we begin with Dan Jiggets, Mr. Kool-Aid himself.
Yeah, well, the thing I'm thinking about is you cannot continue to make mistakes and expect to win football games like this. This is the second week in a row where the Bears allowed the opposition basically go 50% or better on third down, and you can't continue to do that and then offensively turn the football over in critical situations. That, at some point or another, will get you beat.
I think for me, it's just, one, you can't always go through the motions. This was a team I thought the Bears should dominate. But there's something to be said. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're traveling out west. Quest Field is a difficult place to play out there in the great Northwest. But that was only 30 minutes of football by the Chicago Bears. They played great, in my opinion, in the second half. First half was pretty lackluster. They need to dominate opponents. They should.
But the good thing about this is that they close it out, especially on defense. It's good to see guys stepping up, especially Roach. He had a great game today. On defense, they were able to stop the run a little bit. You know, like Jake said, disappointing on third down, but at the same time, they came away with two big with the interception and then a forced fumble recovery, and those are real big. Create turnovers.
You know what was interesting is the way they used Wallace, Seattle did. And, you know, usually when you're thinking about a guy like Hasselbeck, Jim, he's a guy that's going to stay in the pocket a little bit and not move around a whole heck of a lot. But Wallace wasn't going to get out there and run away from anybody. He just wanted to move, find a little open space, and buy some time.
And he was able to create that, you know, with his feet.
Well, I think, Ray, that brings up a good point to start there. Think about the pressure of the defensive line. What have we always talked about? Oh, defensive line, 4 guys got to bring it. Seneca Wallace is such a good athlete. He can make plays in the pocket like that, but he repeatedly had to move. It tells you that the front 4 is making a difference. Fine, they're bringing a lot of blitzes, and Lovey's doing some exotic things in the back end of the defense, but Rod Marinelli has made a difference for this team.
Ryan from Alaska checks in on CSNChicago.com. I'm pretty sure Paris Hilton is giving Ron Turner the offensive play calls. I think a lot of people right now are frustrated with the offensive play calls. Again, the Bears don't reach the century mark on the ground against the 26th rated team against stopping the run. That offensive line, guys, is problems.
I mean, you can't look at the running backs and blame it on the running backs. You certainly can't blame it on the quarterback. It's the offensive line, and you consistently see those guys. And we always talk about reestablishing the line of scrimmage. The problem with the Bears' offensive line is many times you will see the defensive line of the opposition reestablishing the line of scrimmage. The backs are getting hit in the backfield, or it's getting jammed up front, and they have nowhere to go. They have to try to reverse field or whatever. That Bears offensive line, especially inside, the center and the 2 guards, better start blocking somebody. And you know what? Left tackle didn't look too good today either.
Get on him, Jakes.
This came at a price, too. Hunter Hillenmeyer leaves the game with a rib injury. You talked about Nick Roach moving over to the middle linebacker spot. Then you had Jamar Williams taking Nick's spot. It's starting to get a little scary because they're getting very, very thin at linebacker if Hunter has to miss any time.
Well, you know what happened when Hunter, 2 times a guy got a hold of him, one of the offensive linemen got a hold of him and was driving him on a drive block and ended up planting him. And when that guy lands on you at about 330 pounds, that's going to do a little something to your ribs. And I think that's what happened to him today.
But it was good to see the younger guys step up.
Yeah, it was.
Roach really stepped up,
He
really
sure
big.
did.
You know, there was a lot asked about this guy right here, and he really stepped up, along with Williams stepped up also.
Well, that last play of the game was a great read by Nick Roach. But I also think, that, you know, talks are going to start to heat up probably for Derek Brooks again. Maybe a guy like Chris Draft. He was here before in Chicago. He actually played well for Atlanta, played well for the St. Louis Rams. He can play all 3 positions. Sharp player, went through all of training camp. Injury shouldn't be an issue with him.
We'll bring in Jay Cutler and Lovey's press conference as soon as they happen from Quest Field in Seattle. Jay Cutler, 21 of 27, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Again, on that interception today, you know, a deflection, not necessarily. I mean, you have to give him some responsibility for that, but it was one of those where it could have gone either way.
Right. Well, it's a dart throw. It's just an eggshell across. He feels the pressure of Darryl Tapp from his backside, tries to step up, but he twists him just enough to cause the ball to float on him a little bit. Johnny Knox did all he could. I mean, let's face it, that puts him in
that ball down a little bit?
No, he was stretched out.
Hey, that guy
he was stretched out.
Down just a little bit.
He's about your height, Jerry. He was stretched out.
I'm 6'1".
Fast, but he's not Spud Webb. He doesn't have like 5'4" leaps. He did all he could, but you know, it's a shame that it happened because it seemed like the Bears were trying to reclaim momentum there, and then that poor play push kind of deflated the Bears and the emotions on the sideline.
How about Cutler to Hester, the 36-yard game-winning touchdown? An amazing play by number 23.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and you know, goodness knows everybody jumps on Devin when he makes mistakes, but if you watched him over the last couple of weeks, you see a guy developing into a fine wide receiver. Right. Now, is he a one yet? I don't know. I suppose the numbers will bear that out at some point. But you see him doing things now that are very smart things for a wide receiver to do. And that touchdown was a prime example of that, splitting a defense and then taking it the distance.
Well, what he showed out there also was that he has hands. You know, there was a couple of low passes.
Little 9-yarder on the sideline.
And he caught it down, and he went up to catch some big passes. So he's showing that he has hands, and he's showing that he can make the big play.
You know, one of the interesting things will be is to watch if and when they do stop double covering him and giving him a lot of various different coverages, because when they do, that's when he's really going to break open.
Right. I'll talk about the turnover situation. You had Manning causing a turnover on T.J. Houshmandzadeh. Your thoughts on the Bears, again, coming through with takeaways. That's something that Lovey's defense has thrived on since he arrived in town over 5 years ago.
Yeah, the great thing is the defense, again, is creating turnovers. The one thing that worries you, though, is on the offensive side, if you give them back, and particularly where on the field you give them back, that's the thing that can put a defense in really tough shape, is when the offense all of a sudden gives that ball up and, you know, the opposition has 30, 40 yards to go for a score. That's not good.
Let's get into the quarterback comparison. Seneca Wallace gets the start for Matt Hasselbeck. I thought Seneca played a very, very good game today. You know, obviously he is more mobile. 26 of 44, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That guy was doing a lot out there on the field, Jim.
I think, this guy's underrated. He is a phenomenal athlete when you look at his play. But if he was 3 inches taller, he'd be a starting quarterback in the NFL. His decision-making is second to none, but the 1 interception cost him.
Jay Cutler is at the podium in Seattle. Let's listen in live on Bears Postgame Live.
Did that need to show you something once the season started?
He's shown me something since I first got here. You know, when I first got here, they said he didn't know the playbook. He couldn't get in out of cuts. He had trouble catching the ball. And, you know, all of that's been false since day one, since I first arrived here. He's worked as hard, if not harder, than everybody in that room to get ready for this season. He's really driven. He wanted the ball a lot today. You know, he was always in my ear. You know, I got it. Give it to me. And, you know, sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't. But whenever we called his number, he came up big for us.
Take us through the last touchdown pass to him, what it was.
You know, they brought a little bit of pressure, which we were kind of anticipating, and we just had slants with flats on it. You know, simple combination, and it was press man. And whenever we get Devin one-on-one, we think the advantage is on our side. And you know, he ran a great route. I put it a little bit out there. He made a heck of a catch and run. So he makes one guy miss, and it's touchdown. That's what he did.
First quarter, you didn't get any points off the game. Is it crowd noise?
It's loud. It's a tough place to play. You got to give him credit. It really is. This is my first time to come here and play, and the crowd really gets into it, and you can tell the defensive feeds off of it, and it's really hard, and they make it difficult for us. And we, you know, we hurt ourselves down there with the interception, and then, you know, we got going. This offense is young. We're all still learning from each other and trying to, you know, get some mesh and some cohesion going. So. We're making plays to win ball games, and that's a big thing. You know, you look on the film and you see us making mistakes, but when it counts, we're making plays.
How key was it to get that touchdown before half in light of this?
It was really big. I think that was really big to give us a little bit of confidence and get us, you know, started in the right direction. And you know, it was a good drive, made some plays, and we're able to punch it in there.
You finally got the call at the end of the roughing the passer. Was that all day, or was that all out?
Finally got one. You know, I'm gonna be yelling for him all game. You know, whether it is or whether it isn't, I'm gonna be yelling.
Jay, you talked about it briefly last week, but how much did you enjoy that situation when you were in the game at the end with the on the line?
Yeah, you know, we put the defense back out there, and you know they made some stops for us there at the end. I didn't know if we were going to score that quickly, but Devin made a heck of a catch and run. So whenever we get those opportunities, we got to take advantage of that as an offense, and I pride myself in that. You know, I want the ball in those situations, and I think this offense is starting to get a feel for it. Fourth quarter is whenever we got to play at our best, and I think we are right now.
You seem to be one of these teams that just kind of sticks around, hangs around.
You know, it's a road game. It's hard to come into. I don't care where you're on the NFL. It's hard to go on the road and beat somebody at home. It's not an easy thing to do. And if you find a team that can do it, they're probably a pretty good team. And we're 1-1 on the road right now. Came to Seattle and played a really good ball team. A little bit banged up, but they came out and played hard. So it's a big win for us.
Talk about your blocking technique.
I got to see it on film. I obviously got called for that, so we'll check it out.
The touchdown to Olsen was on fourth down. He was open.
Yeah.
Did
We had a few calls. You know, RT called a few ones down to see which ones I like. I picked that one. Ron felt really great about that one. I felt good about him, so we went with it. They brought somebody off the corner, and I think Greg probably he got a great release. The guy fell down, and you know, it was an easy touchdown for us. It's just a matter of me beating the corner with the ball, which I was able to do.
And Knox only caught one pass, but he scored a touchdown.
Did he only have one? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, one for a touchdown, not bad. We'll take it.
Anything else?
Have you thrown a...
Yeah, I'm fine. No, he's done. You're up.
The Sheldon pass and pushback.
Uh-huh.
Have you done that before?
I don't know. I've seen Brett on film a lot do it, so I thought I might try it. I'm probably not going to use that in my repertoire too much, though. Try to steer clear of that one.
The 2-point conversion pass?
Yep.
Did they have a breakdown?
No, the guy fell down. You know, it was press man again. We had Earl on a corner. I was there. I was going there the whole way. And Earl got a great release. The guy just fell down, wide open.
What was your second read?
I mean, I came up to the line to saw it, and I was going there. Was locked in. So he's either going to win or not.
Anything else?
Cool. Thanks.
Well, you define a quarterback's greatness with how they close ball games. Take a look at Jay the last 2 weeks. 9 of 10, 92 yards last week, a touchdown against the defending world champs. This week in the fourth quarter against Seattle, 5 of 5, 60 yards, and the touchdown to Devin Hester. That's what defines the great ones, right, Jim?
Absolutely, and I think offensive coordinator Ron Turner helped them out quite a bit. They were patient, wanted to try and run as much time off the clock as they could, running the football, but bottom line is you got to make the big throws. We saw his boy, Brett Favre, make the big throw today. Jay Cutler's making the big throws since opening day against Green Bay. He's been phenomenal the past 2 weeks.
Checking in here on Twitter, one of the friends of the show, Steve Dahl, says, watching post-game live on Comcast Sportsnet, they're not quite as jacked up about the win as I am. We're jacked up, but we want to hear from the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
It's always tough to win the football game. You know, once you get behind 13-0, it's not really looking good for your team, but our guys continue to fight through. Then start the game, of course, the way we wanted to. Giving up the screen for a touchdown, bad call on my part to put us in a hole a little bit. From there, you know, we had a couple of injuries. Hunter Hildenmeyer has a rib injury. It's tough when you go to your third linebacker, but Nick Roach stepped in and did a super job of getting the calls, getting us in the right spots. We preach takeaways always, and getting those two were big. Offensively, you know, we played 3 games. Jay has led us to 3 leads late, which says a lot. Thought Devin Hester, Earl Bennett, Greg Olson, of course Forte, he distributed the ball around like he's done just about every week. But in the end, came down to a big 4th down play. Our defense had to stop them, and they did. We left a lot of plays out there. Seneca Wallace did a good job of just keeping plays alive with his feet. And it's just a hard-fought game that we were able to win. I'll take your question.
Love, you've called Devin a #1 receiver for a long time now, and I don't think a lot of people believe you, but did he do things today that are what you expect from a #1?
Yes, he's a threat, of course. When he gets the football, he can score at any time, and that's what happened. I think he's caught the ball well, running great routes, and he should get better and better each week. But I say the same thing. Devin Hester is a #1 receiver, and hopefully we can keep putting him in positions to make plays like that.
How much do you want to put added pressure on Seneca because they had 3 offensive linemen?
Well, that was the plan, to pressure him from the start. The first screen for a touchdown was a pressure too, so that can hurt you at times also. But yeah, whenever you have a new guy, you want to make him make some tough throws.
Well, can you talk about the decision to Matt Forte play to challenge that call? Did someone come off the field and tell you? Did you see it for yourself? Did one of the coaches call down?
Well, I mean, it looked like, whenever there's a close call like that, when it's a critical situation, if we're not 100% sure that it's going against us, I'm going to challenge it. So simple as that. A big play for us.
What does it say about this team that it's not always pretty, but that they stick together while the team kind of works through what they're going through?
Well, I've never seen every win, Peggy, I've ever been a part of is pretty. So I don't know exactly what you're talking about there. When we end up with more points than they do, it's a great win for us. But it says a lot about our team. When you're down, things are going against you, but they kept fighting. That's what good teams do. When they don't play their best ball, they find a way to win, and that's what we did today.
I mean, what's say about your defense when you keep out of the end zone, just kind of field goals, but they keep in the game.
One more time.
Your defense kept you in the game basically all day with that line of field goals.
Well, I mean, that's their job, number one, to do that. But they, you know, we have good players on the defensive side. They expect to play good defense. You know, they were a little banged up. I felt like we were, you know, going into the game, we would be able to hold them down for the most part. But they fought hard. But in the end, our guys did. You know, we had our stars that really played well. I'm talking about, you know, our captain, Lance Briggs, you know, just playing his guts out every play.
When we start to see Jay Cutler, this is what we can expect, just this kind of solid quarterback play?
Yeah, I definitely think that's what we're going to see. He's a good player. He's been a good player, so it's not like he all of a sudden. I mean, this is Jay's background. He's been in situations like that. You know, you judge good quarterbacks, to me, you judge them based on what they can do late in the games. And Jay wants the ball in his hands. He had a good look about him, knowing that we had to go down and score. We all had confidence that he would lead us.
There was a lot of kind of uncertainty about his weapons outside the team before the season started, and he's, as you talked about, distributed the ball pretty well, and guys are doing pretty well.
Yes, they are. You know, of course, Johnny last week, but he's using the tight end, he's using the running back. You know, good job by our offensive coaches, too, of getting him in those situations. But, I mean, we're not a one-man team. We want to get everybody involved, and all those guys we're throwing it to can make plays.
Lovey, more dependency on the pass again today. Was that kind of by design, or did you do what you had to do?
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, each week, yeah, we would like to rush the ball for 200 yards, but you have to take what they're giving you. And that's what we're going to do. To me, I want to see plays that find a way to win a football game. Yeah, and that's what we've been doing. So there's nothing wrong with the pass. I like to be known as a running team that can pass the ball. I think that's what hopefully that's our rep. Thank you.
All right, there is Lovey after the 25-19 victory. Here's a look at Seattle in the second half today, and they didn't get a lot done against a defense that was evolving with all the different injuries out there. Zoom.
It seemed like the defense basically stepped it up in the second half of the game, and it's kind of weird. You know, you'd like to see them play out the whole game, you know, and be successful, but you know, they were able to just come away with some big takeaways, which is really big. Now, the thing that really disappointed me was the third downs. You know, third down conversions, I think they were 7 of 17 or something like that. And going into the third quarter, they were over 50% or right around there. So, you know, if it's like that, they're sustaining drives and they're out on the football field for way too long. So I'd like to see that number cut down.
And we saw Manning come through. We saw Briggs come through with a pick. Some of the big studs on defense that are, you know, still left out there, not injured, came through today for Lovey.
Yeah, you know, and some of the things that happen on both sides of the ball are things that you can be pleased with. First of all, whenever a defense can hold, you know, the opposition offense to less points than you have, it's a good thing. Here, the Bears today, run pass was almost 50%. Now, people say, well, wait a minute, what difference does it make if you're only gaining, you know, 3.5 yards or whatever per carry? The idea is also mentally to set it up, to run the ball and take something, a little bit of an edge off the defense, and then throw some short passes. And what did he complete on those drives when he needed to? A lot of short passes up underneath, and then maybe you go up top and try to find something.
Lovey admitted that the 53-yard field goal try at the beginning of the game for Robbie Gould was a poor decision. We all know Robbie Gould has not connected from 50 yards out. You know, why give them great field position to start the game and put Robbie in a hole?
Maybe it was one of those deals we went out through the grass and then realized they had turf.
Well, you're probably thinking, hey, for all those reasons that we stated, They're without their Pro Bowl quarterback in Matt Hasselbeck. Seneca Wallace, granted, it says only his 13th start. At time, he's played well, but he hasn't been in there on a consistent basis. So Lovey just taking a gamble because he's got confidence in his defense, and he felt that his offense should be able to run the ball against a poor Seattle Seahawks team.
How about Jay on 4th and 1 at the goal line? He had a defender right in his face, and he made the play. I mean, Rex doesn't make that play. Kyle doesn't make that play. Brian doesn't make that.
Well, you know, it's like I saw the 3 outstanding quarterbacks, great quarterbacks in the history of the league, talking on a show recently, and one of the things they talked about when they were asked what makes a great quarterback, and all of them answered the same thing. Basically, you know, those winning drives, whether or not you can put together those winning drives at the end of games. And I don't know what goes through a quarterback's mind. Or I know from an offensive lineman standpoint, you're sitting there going, man, I hope we hurry up and score so we can get some rest.
Well, I'm glad you touched on this, Pat, and Jiggs is right. I mean, that's what you're looking for as a quarterback. You live for that moment when it's the last second drive. But on that play that you're talking about, he knew that Grant, the safety, was coming. As a quarterback, when you're running a bootleg naked, you look for pre-snap reads and keys for the defense. I know that guy's wide. I know he's unblocked. I've got to come deeper in my drop after the fake. Jay did that just enough to bide enough time to get off the ball to Greg Olsen on what was a crucial drive.
Got a lot to get to. Kip Lewis is in Seattle. He'll have player reaction as we head to break. Let's check out our U.S. Cellular poll question. How do you feel about this Bears victory at Quest Field? A, good, B, not so good, or C, lucky? We'll take it. Go to csnchicago.com, vote away. Plus, send us your thoughts on today's game. We'll have the results and our poll question a little bit later on in the show. Who's not from around week 3 of the National Football League. Let's start off with who's hot. How about Kevin Cobb filling in for Donovan McNabb? 2 touchdowns, over 300 yards in his first 2 starts. And Santana Moss, 178 yards receiving, 10 catches, and 1 tutty. How about Maurice Jones-Drew? 3 touchdowns as Jacksonville gets a W. Derek Anderson, not so much. 3 interceptions. Kerry Collins, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks as Tennessee continues to struggle. And Terrell Owens, so that's not good numbers, I don't think. T.O.'s not going to be happy about it. 0 receptions. I'm just guessing you may hear about that if you are a Buffalo Bills fan. Time now to head back out to Seattle, and that's where John Moon Mullen is standing by. He writes for the Bears on csnchicago.com. Moon, what did you take away from this game? It was not supposed to be this difficult.
Well, it wasn't, and I think what you take away is sometimes the key to being a success in life, and not just football, is winning when you don't always do your best. And what I heard from some of these guys today was the offense is beginning to trust the defense. There's some trust developing among the players. You have Devin Hester, I think, taking a major step up as a receiver. You know, Jay Cutler even mentioned how Devin kept saying, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, which the quarterback and the coaches don't have a problem with. And the bigger picture, you know, this was another one of those comeback wins, which I touched on a story today. That's becoming a little bit of the personality of this team. They believe they can come back. They obviously know they need to start sooner. But a couple of guys said, you know, we have some confidence in ourselves and in each other. And I think that's pretty important when you're in a locker room.
Hey, Moon, we all thought that the challenge by Lovey just before the half on Forte's fumble was a huge turning point in this game. For them to not come away with any points right there would have been absolutely critical in their attempts to win this ball game. Your thoughts on Lovey's challenge and how that turned things around?
I think it was, you know, we won't call it the play of the game, but it was the moment of the game, because if they don't score there, then they go into that with 13-0. And the game really turned with that score and the first possession of the third quarter, the Bears' first possession. So it was the right thing to do. And didn't you have the feeling the game was kind of slipping away from them at that point? You know, it was interesting. They thought they were playing pretty well. There was just so many big gaffes that they needed something like that. And I really do think that game, that play, that challenge probably saved the day.
John, any other nuggets from that Bears locker room as they get ready to fly back and take on the now no longer winless Detroit Lions?
Right. They're a juggernaut. They're ready for the Bears this time. You know, interesting, in the Greg Olsen touchdown pass, Ron Turner said, or Jay and Turner confirmed it. He called a couple of plays during a timeout and basically said to Cutler, which one do you want to run? So there's a lot of confidence developing within the team. huge that they're turning some more of the play calling over to Jay Cutler in critical situations, and the coaches are listening to him, which is very big.
All right, for much more on John Mullen, log on to our website, csnchicago.com. You'll find all his in-depth articles on the Bears, plus his NFC North power rankings each and every week. Thanks a lot, Moon. We'll see you when you get back to Chicago. He is our Bears beat writer. He is John Moon Mullen at csnchicago.com. He talked about Jay Cutler on the 4th and 1 play to Greg Olsen. It was pretty clear to me they weren't going to run the rock. That offensive line was not getting any push, and you could not have that type of gamble in that situation.
They'd given him the opportunity in the previous play, and then Jim called this one. We're sitting in the green room, the quick pass to the tight end, and it worked out perfect.
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting what John Mullen just touched on there. Normally when a coordinator approaches the quarterback and says, what play do you want to run? He's asking you, what do you feel the most comfortable with? And I think for Jay in that situation, the coaches are just trying to get guys, into the flow of the game. And when a player feels very comfortable in the play call and he's choosing that play call, he's going to try like hell to make that thing work. And Jay Cutler certainly did that.
I have to correct myself. Actually, it was Jerry that said that.
That's right.
And he called that pop pass, like a pop pass. But you said something about reading that. When that defender is on that tight end and he comes, you know as a quarterback to get out of there and get a little depth.
If I know it's a bootleg naked and I know the end man on the line of scrimmage is always unblocked, that's why it's called a naked play. You're exposed as a quarterback, so to speak. So Jay getting the pre-snap read, coming out of the fake, get as deep as you want. You can come out basically straight back, almost like a drop back if need be. And Jay did it just enough to get that ball off to Greg Olsen.
Why is this offensive line just finding so much trouble just coming off the ball, firing off the ball?
It seems like, some offensive lines are designed to come off and attack, and they come off lower. They get in, into their shoulder pads, and they drive you, the drive blocking. This offensive line seems like it's more catch blocking and trying to wheel their bodies around and get between the defender and the ball carrier. So it's not quite as physical a way of blocking as, you see other guys firing off the rock.
And what's the problem with the pulling guard? It seems like they get into a situation where they pull the guards around, but they're not really executing.
Going back to the days of Walter Payton, when we would pull guards, you'd see the guards get depth. As soon as they get in the backfield, they get depth. So the reason why is because then when you turn up field, you can see what the defense is giving you. And if the defense is not across the line of scrimmage, you can get up, maybe get to that second level. And that's when your running back springs. When these guys are coming flat, and as a result, there's no room in there for that back to get through to cut up because the defenders are jamming the hole, closing the hole down, and the guards can't really get any push out of there.
All right, 3 new pieces to this offensive line. At what point do we fire the flare and say, you know what, we can't handle this learning process, this learning curve anymore? How many games do you give them, Jigs, before you start saying this is unacceptable?
Well, the old saying, it is what it is, and this is what you're going to get. I guess one of the things that happens is the more you run them, the more you improve, because it is something that you have to keep after. So today, that's the thing I felt good about, is the fact that even though they were struggling at times in the run game, they didn't stop going back to it. And I credit Ron Turner for that, because it takes a little bit of courage sometimes to go back and call that forte up the middle again.
Coming up, we're going to hear from Earl Bennett. Had 4 catches on the day for 80 yards. More reaction from the Bears locker room in Seattle. Plus, we'll always have Jerry's GQ award. As we head to break, let's take a look at scores from around week 3 of the NFL. Brett Favre hit former Illini Greg Lewis for a 32-yard score with 2 ticks left. Vikings shocked Mike Singletary's Niners 27-24 the final at the Metrodome. The Pack cruised past the winless Rams. Lions won for the first time since December 2007, knocking off the Redskins 19-14 at Ford Field. Eagles pound the Chiefs. Both New York teams are 3-0 as the G-Men shut out the Buccaneers, who are absolutely horrendous. They held Tampa to 86 total yards of offense. Jets beat the Titans. Tennessee, a lot of people had them going to South Florida. They're 0-3. We're coming back with more U.S. Cellular Bears postgame live after this. Devin Hester, 5 receptions for 76 yards and the score. Your thoughts on the maturation of this receiving corps is a big question mark coming into this season. Are you surprised, guys, with what you've seen in the first few weeks?
Pleasantly surprised. I think that we've seen a lot of development, not only from Devin Hester, but I don't know who thought that Johnny Knox was going to come in and play the way that he has. And yeah, he only caught 1 reception today, but you know what, he made it count, didn't he? And when you look at the other guys, I mean, it's been a very pleasant surprise.
And Jerry and I touched on it in the green room as well, because think about it, it was in the middle of the third quarter. Johnny Knox, it was a bunch set to the right. Jay Cutler takes a deep shot on a 3rd and 4 to Johnny Knox. Really not the ideal time to do that. You'd just like to get the first down and move the chains, but it's one-on-one coverage. And he's trusting a rookie. He's trusting his speed because of what Johnny Knox has done over the past few weeks. So better things are to come. I think Earl Bennett, Johnny Knox, these guys are going to be playmakers. And Jerry was right. Hey, Jim, you were always taught to throw one-on-one. And Jay took his shot with Johnny.
Plus, they're also stepping up. You know, they're getting the job done. Knox, you know, over the course of 2 ball games, he's gotten the job done. So, you know, his role is going to basically come up.
And Devin showed us that he's more than just a fly pattern, a guy going deep and running underneath it. That catch for the touchdown, the game winner was
awesome. What was great about Devin Hester today, and again, another step to being a #1 receiver in the NFL, he made difficult catches look routine. I mean, one was a hitch route. It was on his shoelaces. He plucked it with his hands. Another one he plucked with his hands. The last one had to go up and get it when the safety he knows could actually just blow him up. I mean, that receivers...
Reaching for the first down.
Receivers hate. I'm going to tell you what. Receivers hate. I've been with guys as big as a house. They hate running a slant route, and you extend them when they know the safety's coming. He showed no fear in getting that football. That was sweet play by Devin Hester.
Earl Bennett led the way with 80 yards receiving. The former Vandy product standing by with our Kip Lewis. Take it away, guys.
Well, guys, I'm with Earl Bennett, and Earl, you know, another slow start for you guys, but talk about the way you guys fought back in this game.
We just stayed patient. We knew that our time would come, so we just had to keep pushing. We played against a great Seattle defense, and when we had to make plays, we made them, and that's what mattered the most.
What did you guys say to yourselves at halftime when you went in there and obviously, as a team, did not play very well in the first half?
We just got to come out and finish strong, and that's what Coach Levitt preached, and we just came out, picked up the intensity, and just tried to make the best of it.
Is this offense growing a little bit each game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's continuing to grow. A lot of guys making plays, and I'm excited.
Talk about that last drive there with Devin's touchdown.
It was a great play call. They went man press. He beat the guy for a slant and took it to the house.
How much does this help you guys build that confidence, knowing that 2 weeks in a row you guys have been in these difficult games, had to battle back, had to fight, things haven't gone your way? How much can a game like this help you guys as you go on in the season?
It helps us out a lot. Just let us know that we got a great team, and we just got to continue to work hard. Don't get down on ourselves, continue to make plays, and everything will work out for us.
Finally, you guys talked about the noise. I know you practiced for it during the week. Was it as loud as you had expected?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we played up here last year preseason, but they 12th man up here is pretty loud, and they got some awesome fans.
Earl, appreciate your time. Go ahead and get some food over there. All right, guys, let's go back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kip, Earl, thank you very much. You know, I think it's going to be one of those types of situations that it's going to change from week to week. Last week, Johnny Knox is on tape with the 6 catches and coming through. So Seattle game plans to stop him. They do. Only 1 catch, targeted 3 or 4 times.
Touchdown.
But then it'll be Earl Bennett, or it'll be Greg Olsen more, or it'll be Devin Hester.
Or try this. Matt Forte targeted 6 times, caught 6 balls today.
Wow.
That's being efficient now when you start to talk about getting the ball to him coming out of the backfield, because that's something that we've been looking for.
Time for another break here on U.S. Cellular Bears Postgame Live. Coming up next, our panel will give us their MVPs from today's game. First, another look at our poll question. How do you feel about the Bears' victory? Good, not so much.
I think he understands where the problems are within a defense. And again, he shows the ability to be fearless to go get the football. So those are good traits to have as a receiver. And I might remind everybody, he's really darn fast. He can score touchdowns like he did today.
You know, Pat, Darryl Drake, the receiver coach, I think, with the Bears, and always said about him, he says, this is a guy that spends a lot of time learning. So it's not like he's going to cut short on the learning into things. You know how important that is for guys to spend some time looking at tape, being in the meeting room, understanding what their new job assignment is.
Hester had the 36-yard game-winning touchdown. He addressed the media a short time ago in Seattle. Let's listen in.
A big momentum. We couldn't get any points on the board, and first opportunity we got points on the board, you know, we was like, let's continue to keep pressing and hoping that we fight this thing all the way out to the end and get an opportunity to win. that's what we did.
What does it say about Jay Cutler? Because you knew he couldn't hear the plays. He had to keep coming back. Time was running off the clock. To be able to go out there and make that drive happen.
Right, it's just a veteran quarterback. That he showed a lot of veteran, and he's a veteran quarterback. He's been around the league long enough to understand when you get in a hostile environment like this that, you got to constantly run back and forth to the play call, and that's what he did, and he showed a lot of poise today, and kept us our composure down, and we kind of rided around a little bit and got in a couple fights, but he was the guy to step in and say, hey, let's keep our head. We got 2 minutes left in this game. Let's go ahead and pull this game out.
What'd you do on that play?
All right, Devin Hester after the victory this afternoon. A lot of people filing in, over 600 chiming in on csnchicago.com. And a lot of people questioning right now, just the luck maybe the Bears had today. Do you think the Bears were lucky to beat a Seahawks team that didn't have their starting quarterback in Matt Hasselbeck? That's Jorge from Apple Valley, California. Thanks for dialing us up.
Well, I think everybody's got to deal with injuries, but I think the Bears showed that they're a good team by coming back and clawing their way back into a game. They spotted Seattle 10 points, boom, had to scratch, claw, fight, and come back and win that victory. That is a sign of a good team. Lovey needs it for 60 minutes. He wasn't happy with the first half, but those guys showed some grit in the second half.
We just had Devin Hester. If Johnny Knox is a starting receiver and can return kickoffs, then why can't Devin Hester do the same with his responsibilities at wideout?
Well, I think for Devin Hester, one, teams have seen him in the return game over the years. Johnny Knox is something new. Teams are going to start to game plan him as well, which could open up more things offensively for Devin Hester. That's the key to the Bears. They have the ability to go vertical, which opened up Matt Forte today with some of those checkdowns. But, hey, the volume of plays, they want to design more plays for Devin Hester. He's just a lot further along in this offense than Johnny Knox right now.
And he still returns punts,
Right.
so it's not like he's completely out of the return game.
What did you guys think of the Bears' kick coverage on this day? It seemed at times that they're lacking in the tackling department. A lot of lanes out there that are open.
Again, it gets back to tackling, and when the first guy in there wrap them up, and then let the other guys come in and get a little piece, get a little taste of the thing. But that's what was concerning me today on defense as well as on special teams. Is normally you see these guys swarm to the ball carrier and destroy them, and today you saw the ball carrier break away, maybe get another 5 yards. That kind of an issue.
They need to definitely get out of that because that's a bad habit.
Yes, it is.
And they need to get out of that bad habit right away. They need to start wrapping up the ball carriers and then trying to strip the ball out.
Lance Briggs had a big interception in this game. You're going to hear from number 55 on the other side. And you can get set for every Bears Tilt Thursday nights at 11 o'clock on Countdown to Kickoff this week. Running back Matt Forte, Bears radio analyst Tom Thayer will join me to break down every facet of the blue and orange. We'll look ahead to Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. It's Countdown to Kickoff every Thursday at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. We're back with Lance Briggs after this. Spot for Lovey's defense. It'll be interesting to see how things transpire over the next few days. Do they have to go out and grab another free agent linebacker if Hunter is down for a while? Lance met the media a short time ago. Let's listen in.
That's the type of room that we have, type of players that we bring in here. Hunter went down, Brian went down, Hunter took his place and filled in well. Hunter goes down, Nick comes in and does well in his place. Now, not too many more guys can go down.
You're the last man standing.
Man, we got a lot of fallen soldiers, but Hunter will recover, he'll get healthy, and then he'll be back. Peace will be back. We just got to continue to grind out.
How patient you guys have to be waiting for those turnovers to come and not being over where possible?
It's part of what we do. So, it's being aggressive. Being aggressive is how we play football. In this game, especially with the way we play ball. It's high risk, high reward sometimes. But it pays off in the end.
Man, they're all big, but how big was this one coming here in this atmosphere and just winning?
Oh, it was loud. It's one of the loudest stadiums by far in the league. To come in here and and 2 wins, especially win the way we did. We went in the halftime down and fought our way back. So that's where we've actually been playing a lot lately.
Is there a lesson learned after week 1's loss in Green Bay that you guys have been able to come back and finish the last 2 games?
Right. Just that game, we played good defense. We played good defense. We just, as our offense continues to gel each week, then defensively we just need to play games like this and finish. Finish like this, finish like we did in Pittsburgh. And like I said, we have a good team. We have a really good team, and we're going to end up winning a lot of close games this year. And that's what it's going to take.
Lance and the Bears certainly finished strong today. Time now for our Monsters of the Midway, otherwise known as the Bears MVP, and we begin with you, Zoom.
Well, Lance Briggs, I mean, this guy right here dominates, on defense. Comes away with 7 tackles, an interception, a sack, a few quarterback hits. He's my monster.
I've got to go with Devin Hester, 5 receptions, 76 yards, the touchdown, 36-yarder, made it look easy. Got to give a shout out to Nick Roach, though. How about that 4th and 2 play? And he harassed Seneca Wallace for that interception by Briggs.
Yeah, he really did. But thank goodness Lance was there, being the captain of this team and making sure that everything was buttoned down. And you look at the fumbles and the interceptions and all the rest of that he caused, all the havoc he causes. Had to go with him today.
Could have gone with Lance Briggs. I went with Devin Hester as well. The 5 catches for 76 yards, the game-winning touchdown on a tough ball from Jay Cutler. He came through in crunch time. He proved that he is not just a guy that can go on a go route and try to stretch the field. Devin Hester is my monster of the Midway today. So here's a recap of our monsters through week 3. Wale leading the way along with Jay Cutler, and now number 23, Devin Hester, all checking in with 3. Followed by Lance Briggs and Alex Brown. We're coming back after one final timeout. We got Jerry's GQ. Also get the guys' thoughts on those about the Bears' victory today. Here's what you had to say after logging on to csnchicago.com. 44% said good. 45%. Can we do the math? That can't be. That can't be right. But all right. We'll do it. We demand a recount. There's a hanging Chad here somehow. But hey, look. Bottom line is they are winners, and we'll see.
35% said we're lucky and we'll take it. Maybe that's what it was.
All right. We'll take it. 45% said lucky. Jay Cutler chimes in on Twitter. Big win for us. Seattle's a tough place to play. Guys made some big plays in the 4th quarter. Back home for the Lions, we need a big crowd. Jay Cutler, he showed us stuff in the last 2 weeks. He can finish a game.
I believe so. I think the Bears fans should be, really excited about where the offense is going with the passing attack, get the ground game going. But again, just because the Lions are feeling good about themselves, beating the chest, don't take them for granted. They need to win this game and win it pretty convincingly.
Time now for Jerry's GQ segment, where the Dapper One picks the best-dressed Bear. Jerry, first up, honorable mention.
Honorable mention, I'm going to give it a Forte. He's looking clean. He's looking clean. He has the keep-all, the Gucci keep-all. I see you. I don't know what color shirt that is, but, it's cool. It's cool.
Fine stitching, according to Kip Lewis.
It amounts to a duffel bag.
I can't really see the stitching,
because
I'm not up there. But
that's not a man purse, that's a duffel bag.
It's definitely not a man purse. It's a keep-all.
But your winner is the one and only.
If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good.
If you play good,
you get a whole lot of money, and Briggs is the man.
Lance Briggs coming through.
Right there.
Lance Briggs is Jerry's GQ through week 3. Last week against the Steelers, nobody got it. Garrett Wolf checked in week 1. All right, everybody won today in the NFC North. Minnesota stays atop at 3-0, followed by Green Bay, and the Bears tied at 2-1. Your thoughts with this game against the Lions? Again, you better not take them for granted, as Jim said, because that kind of mentality can get you in trouble like you did in Seattle.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have to tell the Bears this twice. Be ready for the Detroit Lions, because if you ask the guys on the Washington Redskins, I guarantee you they'll say to a man, well, maybe we didn't do everything we should have done preparing to come in here. Hey, look, nobody's that much better than anybody else in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't spot them 10 points because it's the NFL. Everybody's good, like Jig said, so do not spot them 10 points. Need to come out the gates rolling.
Wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. 25-19 the final. Bears go to 2-1, can go to 3-1 as they head to the bye next week. That's going to do it for U.S. Cellular Bears Postgame Live. For Jerry Zuma, Jim Miller, Dan Jiggets, Kip Lewis, I'm Pat Boyle. We'll see you next Sunday. It's an early tilt as soon as the Bears and Lions go final. Have a great week, everybody.